Hey, welcome in everybody. Welcome in to Let's Talk Live here on the LTL Media channel. It's been a while since I've been in the studio. It's been like almost 3 weeks. I'm looking at my sub counter on the wall. It says 22,262. And as I look at right now, we are 9 new subscribers away from 25,000. So I think we're going to get there through this show tonight. That's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I've been grinding away for 3 years here on YouTube. And, what this channel started at and what it's become at this particular point is far beyond anything that I would have ever dreamed of. And, I truly want to do this for the rest of my life. So every day I, try to go through, all of my live streams, how I present the information, just try to better myself every day here on the channel. But, without all of you coming back, subscribing to this channel, being members of this channel, I wouldn't have gotten here. I wouldn't be here right now. And I do appreciate that. I fully appreciate that. So, yeah, I know the Celtics are on. So if you want to do LTL on one TV and maybe, or Celtics on one TV, LTL on your iPad or iPhone, that's cool. I still want to do my show tonight, so we're going to get through that. Before we get into the show, I just want to announce everybody that any donations that come in tonight, we will kick back 25% of that back to Karen Reed. So when I came in here, yes, with my new World Order shirt on, when I came in here, let's see, I had a new member. So we'll start that out with $5. So $5 kicked back to Karen Reed. We'll try to get to a $50 kickback to Karen Reed tonight. And we'll just keep adding in that 25% kickoff for anybody that donates tonight. And if we don't get to that $50 goal, what I do is I take a total at the end and I will carry that over into the next stream. And to keep things fully transparent, what I do is I post on my Facebook page, on my YouTube community page, and then the ultimate vet is you can go right to the defense link, click on there, and you'll see LTL Media Chat Raiser, and then we'll have the date on there, 6/9/24. So that's where we're at. But we're going to get through the show tonight. As you all know, I was in court on Thursday, which was pretty badass. I got to see Alan Jackson go to work on Bukkake, Trooper Bukkake, which was badass. I got to sit in with Will and sit on the Karen Reed side and, and have about 30 minutes before we went up into the upper court to spend some time with the attorneys, to spend some time with Karen Reed and, just have some conversation, which was badass. I mean, it's truly was a life-changing experience. Here's someone that I've been, advocating for the last, almost a year right now. And it truly was a blessing. And it was such an experience. It's something that I've never experienced in my entire life. I've always been behind the camera, but to walk into court and have all that media on you and then come out and have all that media on you because you're walking with the family and you're kind of part of that group, that tight-knit group. And it was truly an honor and something that I hope to get to experience again before this trial is over. And I will always support Karen Reed here on this channel, always support her. So there's no doubt in that. Let's do this. I want to just pull up this super chat real quick. Unit, thank you for the 1999er. It says, keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Duke says, Tom CPU going to be okay? I didn't know. Is there something going on with Tom? The last time I saw him was at the courthouse. Actually, no, we had a live that night. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I kind of have a split life. I have kind of my day job, night job that I have to do. And then I have YouTube and, I do 40 hours a week during, 45 plus hours a week during my day job, night job. And then I put like 80 hours a week into my YouTube. But YouTube's not quite paying the bills. So I got to keep grinding away here and get towards that silver play button. That is an ultimate goal of mine, to get to that silver play button. Let's see. And we got a $10. We'll round that up to $9.99. DeAndre, thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate that. All right, so let's get into tonight. We're going to go through the Bukkake testimony, and I'm going to show you some top 10, what I call my top 10 fuck-alls from the other day. Let's see. You know, I don't get into the drama. I don't really get into the drama. I just stick to what I need to do here in my channel. Hang on one second. Okay. Let me just change the setting here. Give me 2 seconds. Let's try this. Let me turn up my sound a little bit. I'm getting a notification that my sound is not loud enough. Maybe we're going to turn it up here a little bit. Let's see. Let's do that. That probably will sound a little better. All right. Let's see. Did we hit 25K yet? I'm getting congratulations already. Let's do this. Colleen, thank you so much. Thanks for all that you do to cover the case, to bring more awareness to the Free Karen Read and get justice for John. Thank you so much. We'll add that in. KC, thank you so much. Congratulations on 25K. Does that sound better? Everybody always says I'm too loud. You're always too loud. You're too loud. Well, that's what we do here. We're live and loud. And I'm fucking loud. I'll tell you, I talk loud. That's what we do. We talk loud. Whoa, we hit 25K. Badass. Sounds better. Great. Tom, thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't get into the politics. I just stick to what is the focus here, and that is Karen Read. But let's get to my top 10 fuck-alls, and then we're going to get to some testimony tonight. So I love this. My top 10 fuck-alls. Fuck-alls, top 10. Let me enlarge the screen here, and we'll go through some of this. So what did we find out the other day in court? Well, number one, we had the inverted Sallyport video. Inverted Sallyport video. Though it's definitely number one on my group. Number one on, I think, everybody's top 10 here. When we saw that in court, and I got to witness that in court. And I have to say, if you weren't paying attention or you weren't kind of getting what was going on, you would have missed the key element to that video. And it was that inverted number 4 on the door. I caught that right away in court. And I saw some motion when that went up on the screen for the jury to see. There was a lot of movement at the Karen Read table. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Alan Jackson was looking at Karen. Karen was looking at Alan Jackson. David Yannetti was looking around. The prosecution, the Commonwealth, fucked up big time. And what they're trying to do is deceive the jury. And I will show you. And listen, you're all smart. You've seen this. You're all smart. But we'll pull up some photos that I've got here. Hang on one second. I just want to pull this up. I think I missed some super duper duper chats. Let's see. So we got Tom, DeAndre, Linda. Thank you so much for the $49.99. Watching you and following the case from Chicago. Thanks for all your coverage. Free Karen Read. Thank you so much for the $49.99er. I think we got this one in too. We got that in. Casey with the congrats on 25K. Thank you so much. Amy in Boston says, let's all stay focused on justice for Karen and Officer O'Keefe. Free Karen Read is coming. I truly believe that myself. And Dina Jam checking in. Congrats on LTL on 25K. We have reached 25K. So awesome. And again, I could not have done this without all of you. And, after the Karen Read case concludes, I hope that you continue to follow the channel. We will still do other cases here. Maybe gear more towards some local stuff. I definitely want to get into national stuff as well again. I have some cases that are coming up that I think are going to be really big. But anyway, let's get to number 2. Number 2, defense attorney Alan Jackson's raised doubt about the validity of the Sallyport video showing Karen Read's SUV inside the garage of the Canton Police Department and highlighting discrepancies and showing manipulation. Number 3, Massachusetts State Police Sergeant Yuri Bukkake
confirms that the video was mirrored, implying that what the jurors were seeing might not accurately represent the events. Number 4, evidence presented by Bukkake, including a Boston Police Department hat and drinking straw and shards of glass and plastic, were discovered outside the home in the weeks he drove by every day. Remember, said that he drove by every day to see if more evidence would reveal itself after John O'Keefe's death, including a broader reach of the cover-up. Canton Police Chief Berkowitz and Bukkake met at certain points during the investigation over those finals days, but Bukkake says it wasn't planned and it was basically a coincidence. Bullshit. 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 During cross-examination, Jackson inquired about a purported missing ring cam video. Jackson noted that the absence of the video indicated that the client that his client logged in, meaning Karen Reed. Bukkake confirmed the absence of activity logs providing the ring cam. Jackson contends the Trooper Proctor requested evidence from the ring cam regarding deleted ring cam videos, yet none has been presented. Number 6, during the interview played in court, Reed mentioned an altercation involving Brian and Colin Albert, explaining how the injuries to O'Keefe happened that night. Number 7, Jackson questioned Bukkake about the initial suspicion of O'Keefe's death being due to physical altercation, to which Bukkake says he never told Good Sam Hospital that he thought John O'Keefe may have been struck by a cocktail glass in a domestic, but confirms he did not say that, but confirms that he only said that to the medical examiner's office. Number 8, Jackson highlighted and handled the evidence, including O'Keefe's clothing, which has been bagged 6 days after being recovered. Remember, they said that they laid out the clothes on butcher paper for it to dry out for 6 days. 6 days they laid this out. Come on, man. I sound like Joe Biden. Come on, man. 6 days for clothing to dry out, and you're also contaminating it. So all of the DNA, all of the evidence that's on that clothing has been exposed. And has been exposed to snow, raising questions about the integrity and preservation. Number 9, Bukkake stands with his details about the evidence bag, indicating transparency in the legal process and throughout examination of the evidence, of the chain of evidence. Bullshit. And number 10, surveillance video showing Reed backing her SUV out of O'Keefe's home was analyzed by Bukkake, noting movements in John O'Keefe's vehicle, suggesting complexities in determining the sequence of events. Remember, fog. It was fog, so it was hard to see. It was fog, remember? Leading to O'Keefe's death. I'm going to tell you, when I was in that courtroom and they played that video, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it on the playback, but when they played that video, and that's actually the one that I enhanced as well too, some months ago. And I'm glad that they showed this to the jury. So they enhanced the back of John O'Keefe's tire. Karen Reed backs out, and you can visually see that she hit his Traverse. That's how the taillight became cracked. Now remember, what happened to John O'Keefe up to 2:27 a.m., and Jen McCabe Googling that search, they didn't know at that point that Karen had backed out and cracked her taillight. It was only when she mentioned it to Jen McCabe, and that was the spin. That's what they used, because they know they beat the shit out of him. They know they tried to kill him. They dragged him outside and left him to die. And then when Karen backs up and cracks her taillight and lets Jen and Carrie know, there's the in. That's the framing. So now we have to doctor the evidence. But I'll tell you, when they showed that video and they enhanced it and the jury saw it, I wanted to see the jury's eyes. And you probably see if the camera panned over. I haven't watched the playback fully yet. I had my eyes on those jurors. I looked at all of them because I wanted to see their reaction. I already knew it was going to happen, but I wanted to see their reaction. And I looked. And when Karen Reed's SUV hit John O'Keefe's Traverse, I saw at least 4 jurors visually go, and I heard a gasp. And I got goosebumps right now thinking about it. And maybe those jurors up to that point didn't believe, or maybe they were still trying to sort the details, but that was what confirmed it for them. I don't know. I don't know what's in those jurors' head. I'm just saying, I'm speculating. Or maybe that was the hard fact that confirmed everything, that this trial is a complete and utter sham. It's over. I watched the body language of the jurors when they watched Lally speak. They were not focused. They had their heads down. They were writing very minimal notes. And then when Alan Jackson got up for cross on Bukkake, everybody stood up. They straightened out. They got their notebooks. They started writing notes. And I watched the tennis match go on. Jackson, Bukkake, Jackson, Bukkake, evidence screen, Jackson, Bukkake. Back and forth, back and forth. My friends, I'll tell you, sitting in that courtroom, again, a true honor, but I'm going to tell you, those jurors are done. They've made their mind up. They are done hearing Lally. They're done hearing this sham trial that's been brought up to Karen Reed by the Commonwealth, Michael Morsi's office, all these troopers that framed evidence against Karen Reed, everybody in that house at 34 Fairview that night, they are done. They are checked out. And we heard that at the end of court because Bev had to address it. And what did she say? Jurors, I will let you know, and I'm sorry, that you will be able to deliberate this case the last week of June. That tells me someone or a couple of people on that juror, in my opinion, probably said something to the judge. You know, we're done. We've kind of seen everything we need to see. And it's just getting worse every single day for that Commonwealth. And that's fine. Keep digging yourself in a hole because this is all on the record. And it's going to all come back to bite all of these people that have been involved in framing Karen Reed. All right, let me get up to some of these super chats. I saw a lot of them come in, and I appreciate that. MC, thank you so much. $9.99 says you're doing a great job. We love your show, Free Karen Reed. Thank you so much. Christine, thank you so much for becoming. Oh, I'm sorry. Christine just using her 4-month membership, saying thank you for having me in the chat. Well, you're always welcome. You can come hang out with us. Jody at $20, and congrats on 25K. Keep up the great work in Free Karen Reed. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Danielle, a $10 super chat, says Bukkake claimed they followed Karen's car the entire way back from Dighton, but the truck they drove was not behind it on Washington before turning into the Canton PD driveway. Absolutely. And we had a $20 from Matt. Matt says Karen car had no snow in the Lally port. Snow outside matched her car. Crime tape fit perfectly. 100%. I don't have to tell you, my friends. You know where this case is going. And it's just getting deeper and deeper in the cover-up. It's being peeled back. And Karen Reed just needed a little help from this defense team. And the Commonwealth thought that she was going to be weak, thought that she was going to lay down and probably take a plea deal. Well, they underestimated her. She's much stronger, and she's fighting back. And this defense team has the super upper edge. I'm telling you, it's over. Those jurors are tired. They were stretching. They didn't want to be there. There was one guy that just looked straight ahead. He's already has his decision. They don't need to go through this mental torture anymore. We'll get to some testimony here. Let me just pull this up. $25 just came in on a Venmo from Jillian. She said, thank you for doing what you do. We support Karen from Texas. Thank you. Do we have a total? I was probably rattling off a lot of super chats. Thank you. Congratulations on 25K. Thank you so much. Don't worry about it, Magnolia. We're here. And they are seeing right through it, Boston Beauty. They're seeing right through it. 202 total. We'll get 25% back to Karen Reed. All right, let's get to some testimony. I want to hear Jackson. And and the thing is, when you're sitting in court, my dad asked me, what was it like? Did you listen to everything? It's so hard to concentrate. You're looking around everywhere. I'm trying to watch the jurors. I'm trying to watch Jackson. I'm watching the O'Keefe family. I'm looking at Turtle Boy. A couple times he looked at me and he went, opened his mouth and gave me a wink or whatever, So there's a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces. So to kind of keep all that focus on the testimony, I'm going to be honest with you, I lost it a little bit. But when those key points came up and that screen was turned on and we were seeing that visual evidence, boom, I locked right in and just watched everybody. All right, we'll get to some testimony. Erica, thank you so much for the 10. She said, do you see any signs of the O'Keefe family seeing the fraud? Off topic, I'm new and I noticed Misfits stuff immediately. So I figured I'd ask. Favorite Misfits song, Hybrid, Moments, or Bullet? For me, Hybrid Moments is definitely up there atop, but I would say the ultimate Misfits song for anybody that's getting into the Misfits or wants to even hear the Misfits, I would say the go-to song for me off the Walk Among Us album. And I wish I could turn my camera because I would blow you away right now, Erica. I'm looking right now, right here in my studio as we're looking at it. If you have the album, Walk Among Us, I would say Astro Zombies is probably my go-to song for the Misfits. But Hybrid Moments is definitely up there. But I would say if someone wanted to hear and encompass that, Astro Zombies. But you would be blown away, Erica. Right now, I'm looking. If you have ever seen the inside of the Walk Among Us album, the pullout, there is a solo photo of Jerry Only with rocks in the background. Photo taken by Erie Vaughn. I'm looking right now. I have an 8x10 off that negative, printed and framed right here, signed by Erie Vaughn. And one day I'm hoping to get it signed by Jerry Only. But that's probably my prized possession that I have in my collection. I have so much stuff and so many vintage posters in like almost practically mint condition. But thank you. I love Misfits fans anytime. 499er, Nutmeg Queen. So you're doing such a great job, Brian. Thank you. We'll add the 5 up. Maureen with a 10. Thank you. We the people know the sham. Thank you, Brian. Yes, that's right, Mazza. When you're NWO for life. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rachel, hope the Johns family is starting to see the cover up and it's not Karen. They're pretty, from what I understand, the rumor is they're pretty hard stance that they're going to, stand on the side of the McAlberts. That's what I'm hearing. But I mean, you see a little bit of defeat on their face when you're sitting in court. I think seeing it from Paul, Aaron, and listen, I'm not going to pick on the O'Keefe family. They've been through enough. That's not my job to do that here. Everybody has lost. Oh, my voice cracked. Oh, everybody has lost so much in this. And it's sad. It's completely sad. And they're rolling with the wrong people. Mother Beagles, whoops, probably mirror, reverse, super chat. Thanks for all you do. I get your sarcasm there. All right, I got to get to some testimony here. Let's hear the master, Action Jackson. We'll play through some of this tonight. Let me turn this up. Here we go.
Do you have that in mind?
I do.
The search warrant that produced, and just so we're clear, I'm talking about the specific ring video or a series of videos that were associated with One Meadows, John O'Keefe's home.
Okay.
Okay. You didn't write the search warrant for those ring videos, did you?
You can see.
I did not.
I am very observant. And if anybody doesn't know, I'm right here. But you can see I'm looking around everywhere. I'm watching everything. And you can see Karen's visual presentation guy here, everything that he's going to bring up on the screen and all the evidence that's going to come up. So it's super cool to see all that. Wow, huge super chat just came in. Melanie, thank you so much. $100 super chat. $100 super chat. Wow, thank you. excellent coverage. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of LTL Media. All right, let's keep playing through here. Thank you
You
so
were not
much.
the affiant for those search warrants.
I was not.
Who was the author of the search warrant and the affiant?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor.
Who received the actual Ring video or videos from the Ring Corporation?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor.
Oh, for all the newcomers, real quick. This is my studio. I just haven't been up here in 3 weeks because up here in the great state of Massachusetts, we've had so much hot weather. And right now they're installing brand new air conditioning through the whole building. It's supposed to be done this week, but I'm on the top floor and it gets to about 100 degrees in this building. Right now it's probably 80 in here, and it was only 65 out today. So and I got studio lights on. So I haven't been here. I've been actually doing my streams from home, but in about a week, I'll be back here permanently. And the cool thing about it, if y'all don't know, I know the regulars know, but people that don't know, right in front of me is a large table, microphone set up. I got a new camera that I'm going to be setting up. Then I'm going to start having some live guests in the studio. We can actually have a face-to-face conversation, which is going to be badass. But let's get back to testimony here.
Proctor received it.
And who ultimately either logged those into evidence or controlled those once they were received from the Ring Corporation?
I believe it was Trooper Mike Proctor.
And ultimately, Sergeant Buchnick, you did note that in addition to just the physical videos themselves, that login information and login keystrokes, et cetera, were requested from the Ring Corporation as well, correct?
There was discussion with Ring asking for those logs.
I'll call it, is it correct to say an activity log?
That's what was requested, yes, activity log, yes.
So ultimately, the activity log would show who logs in, who accesses the data, things of that nature, correct? Or at least that was the hope.
That is what was requested.
All right. It would also show logging in and executing deletions, manipulating the log files, things of that nature.
It's funny. Bukaki thinks he's smarter than Jackson. Like, he thinks he's going to outsmart Jackson. Jackson catches him quite a bit during this testimony. And he's going to catch him here on the ring cam. He catches him on the mirrored video or the inverted video. Oh, yeah. And by the way, I forgot to show you. Hang on. Let me go back to my presentation. This is what I was talking about. And if you didn't catch it, because it took me a minute. I went, wait a minute. Something's not right here. Let me just bring this up again real quick. And we'll go back to testimony in a minute. But this, if you didn't catch this, let me just go here. I call this Houston, we got a problem. I'm looking at the video in court and I'm going, what the fuck? That 4 is inverted. So what they're trying to do is, and I'll show you here. This is the driver's side. So they're trying to play this off like it's the reverse side of the car. And you'll see here. That's really what it should look like, because you see the person pull it in, they get out. Excuse me. This is the way that it should look. So that passenger side taillight had been hidden the whole time. And the other thing that I noticed too, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, when have I ever seen a door handle on this side of the door? Door handles are on the other side. It's right here. And then that perfectly cut crime scene tape. Just perfect. And then Jackson's going to point out down here, the police in the back on that vintage car is reversed as well too. So that's what it should look like. That 4, it should look like this. But when we first saw the video, it's this way. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not. So they're just trying to, they're trying to hide the taillight. And the funny thing is, I think I saw something, someone snipped it on Twitter, but Plevin was doing a live and he's like, look, when he saw the video, he was like, look, you can see the broken pieces right there. I'm like, dude, that's a reverse. It's reversed. It's inverted, you moron. All right, let's go back to testimony here. I think I had a couple of super duper duper chats come in. Let me see here. Let me go down to the bottom. Oh, Wit, thank you for the 1990s. Congratulations on the 25K. I've had no idea on some future. I had some ideas on future shows after Karen is set free. Keep grinding away. I love your show. Thank you for being here. I love that you're here. PB&J 999er says, in the Sallyport video, why is there a cleared out area outlined with snow the size of the SUV when it's pulled in? Something was something parked there before it was cleaned off. I think you're going to be able to see. I think they cleaned that area out, but we'll take a look. We'll go back and look. All right, let's get through this testimony here.
That is what was requested, yes.
When you reviewed those log or activity logs, there was no evidence revealed that my client ever logged into that account, correct?
There was no activity logs provided by Ring.
So you have zero, hang on.
Maybe I'll double time this a little bit. Jackson talks fast, so kind of hard.
Isn't it true that Ring contacted Trooper Proctor and indicated that they had created a Dropbox folder that contained the evidence that had been sought in the search warrant?
Objection.
Sustained.
Isn't it true that the search warrant returned?
Perth, Australia checking in. $10 Aussie. Thank you so much. Hello from Perth, Western Australia. I actually know some people from Perth that I met through streaming. New subscriber here. So glad I found your channel. Thank you for your hard work in jury insight. Glad they aren't falling for this BS. P.S. Love your accent. Free Karen Reed. Thank you so much. I appreciate your $10 Aussie. Look at that. We have the Aussies. Aussies checking in tonight. We have 382 total right now. 25% of that will be kicked back to Karen Reed. Thank you. All right, let's go.
Specified account information, video recordings, and number 3, activity logs associated with video recordings are all times displayed in UTC.
I'm not aware of that, no.
Do you recall that activity logs were in fact provided from the Ring Corporation?
I do not recall that, no.
Okay. May I approach briefly?
Yes.
What's the Celtics score?
Take a look, Sergeant, at that paragraph, which my finger's on, it's about the 3rd paragraph down, the middle of the page, and review that to yourself and let me know when you're finished.
See, I always love when Jackson gives them the documents to have them review. And I always said this, and I was saying this a lot when Jen was stand. It's, oh shit, what am I going to say? How am I going to cover this up? You know, Jen McCabe, during her testimony, had to look at all of her documents where she made statements and all the statements that were written about her to refresh her mind, to keep those lies straight, or to look at it and say, what did I say and how can I cover this? I felt a lot of that when I saw her testimony. Let's see, Jackie checking in, 1 month membership, just using the chat, saying, do we see Proctor this week on the stand? Tuning in from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much. She says, hashtag free Karen Reed. Alan Jackson said on Thursday when he left, Trooper Proctor will be taking the stand for the Commonwealth. He said they are calling them. And if you watched my my live when I came out, you would have saw that when I came out of court the other day. All right, let's keep playing through here. Ryan, thank you so much for the 25. The 25K says, congrats, my friends. Thank you. Thank you so much. Add 25 to the total, and we'll kick back 25% to Karen Reed. He's like, oh shit, what am I doing? How am I keeping this straight? Oh, thank you. Dirty Bev, new subscriber, love the channel. What does LTL stand for? LTL, let's talk live. Let's talk live. If you're not following me on Twitter, you need to follow me on Twitter. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on my Facebook page. I post a lot there. I'll drop the links. Get Nightbot going here. I'll tell you, these pauses in court, it feels like it's literally an eternity. You're waiting and waiting.
Have you had an
and
opportunity
waiting.
to review that?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Does this refresh your recollection as to the items received
Thanks,
from the
Scott. I
corporation?
appreciate it.
That is the first time I saw that document, so it does not refresh my recollection. I simply read it.
So do you have a recollection as you sit here that in fact during the course of your investigation, the three items that you received from Ring Corporation were the account information,
give
the
you
video
my
recordings,
prediction.
and quote, activity logs associated with the video recordings? All times
$5. Thank you.
To the extent of its availability, as it says in that document.
That's Spokane. That's Spokane, Washington checking in. I'm going to speed this down because they both kind of talk a little fast. I don't want to miss anything here.
The long and short of it is, during the entire course of your investigation, you never revealed that investigation never revealed any evidence
Well, they
whatsoever.
did say Buchnick's coming back. He's going to be there on Monday. 8:30 in the morning, they are going to argue a motion that was set by the Commonwealth that they are challenging expert witnesses by the defense. And I'm going to tell you right now, there was an awesome tweet about it, and I'll give you the Lana Del Turtle had a great tweet on that. And it's long. I'll share the link. But if you want to go back and read it, you can. Now, I'll read a little bit of it right now, but I do want to get through this testimony. So Lana Del Turtle, follow them on Twitter. Says it's getting difficult to fathom the audacity of the North Fork County District Attorney's Office, my dear friends. Thursday morning, June 6, ADA Laura McLaughlin filed a motion on behalf of the Commonwealth asking the good Judge Bev to exclude just about all expert evidence the defense team plans to submit in the coming weeks, leaving jurors to only consider the expert evidence submitted by the Commonwealth. They know their castle is crumbling, and it's crumbling hard. They know those jurors have checked out. I'm going to tell you right now, if this is allowed, and they keep those expert witnesses out from the defense, the jury's going to know 1,000% it's going to confirm everything. I'm going to tell you another thing too. Trooper Proctor comes in, he pleads the fifth. It's going to bury the Commonwealth as well. Because the juror's going to go, this is the lead investigator. Why is he not talking? Why is he pleading the fifth? It's only going to help confirm their predictions, in my opinion. I think they're all, at least 90% of them, maybe 95%, have concluded that this is a sham trial. It's a setup. And Karen Reed is factually innocent. Because I just can't see it, my friends. I can't see it. I can't see them voting guilty. I can't see it. I've been waiting for over 6 weeks for something by the Commonwealth to show us that Karen Reed is guilty, but it's not going to happen. But read that tweet. I want to get on with the
Did
testimony.
my client ever even access the account information for the Ring account associated with this search warrant, correct?
Jalen, thank you.
Nothing provided by Ring proved or suggested or proved any evidence of that type of activity, no.
Thank you. Trooper Proctor, you were notified.
I am not Trooper Proctor.
I'm sorry.
That was kind of funny.
No, you're not. Sergeant Buchnick.
Does that tell you right there? Oh, and I love this back and forth right here, too. I love this back and forth because now he's pissed and he's going to lay back at Jackson. Can you tell right now that Jackson wants to get his hands on Proctor? I love that. And he's going to correct him. Buchnick.
How do I say it?
Buchanan.
I'll give that a shot.
It's fine.
Buchanan.
Yes,
Is that better?
that's better. Thank you.
If I screw it up again, please.
Trooper Proctor. I love it. Just to rattle him. To rattle him.
On January 29th, you were notified about a Boston police officer found gravely injured outside the home of 34 Fairview at about 6:40 in the morning. Was that your testimony?
That is not.
What time were you notified?
I was not notified it was a Boston police officer.
So you didn't have that information upon the first notification?
I did not.
Okay, what information did you have?
There was a male party in the snowbank, possibly of a heart attack.
At what
Unreal.
point did you learn that the individual was, in fact, a sworn Boston police officer?
Never.
I do not know exactly when I learned that he was a Boston police officer.
I think it was during that day or the following day.
It was most likely that day, either. Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's sad. As an officer, as a man of the law, as someone that's been sworn in to serve and protect, would not know that that was a Boston police officer? That tells you right there. Look at the cover up, folks. They didn't want people to know who that was. Jen McCabe did not want to let people know who that was when she called that 911 call. We got a man down in the snow. Not my friend John O'Keefe, Boston police officer. Not officer down. We got a man down in the snow. Remember, her friend, she loved John. They were friends. Well, if he was your friend, when you called 911, why didn't you say, my friend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe? You didn't say that.
Trooper Proctor was ultimately assigned as the, what did you call him? Not lead investigator, but case officer?
That's correct.
He was assigned on the 29th, correct?
He was on call from 7 a.m. on January 28th until 7 a.m. on January 29th.
So his assignment was, he was assigned on the 29th because he was on call.
He was on call. His assignment took effect when the schedule came out back in mid-December.
Okay. Well, he wouldn't be assigned to this investigation until there was a need for the investigation, right? And that's all I'm getting to. I mean, once the call came in, he was the assigned case agent.
Once the calls come in, the person that's on call is automatically assigned that case.
All right. Did you personally, as his supervisor, did you personally respond to 34 Fairview at any point on January 29th?
No, I did not.
Did Trooper Proctor, at your direction or on his own, ever respond to 34 Fairview Road at any time on January 29th?
No, he did not.
Based on your initial investigation, and I'm talking about going way back, Sergeant, on your initial investigation, by 10 or 10:30 in the morning, 10:40 in the morning, it was your belief that Mr. O'Keefe had been struck in the face by a person. That was your initial understanding of the circumstances surrounding the investigation, correct?
My initial understanding was that the defendant stated that she hit him. We did not know the...
Sergeant, you hadn't even met
Yeah.
my client at that point.
Yeah.
You hadn't interviewed a single
This is where he's going to catch him. Because he said it to Good Sam. And he's trying to say, no, it was the medical examiner's office.
witness by 10:41 in the morning, correct? Not one witness.
That's not correct. We had already interviewed the first responders.
Okay, when I say witness, I'm talking about civilian witnesses. So at 10:41, you hadn't interviewed a person at 34 Fairview or associated civilians associated with this incident, correct?
At that point, no civilians have been interviewed, no.
But at 10:41, Sergeant, you contacted Good Samaritan Hospital to inform them
No civilians had been interviewed by 10:30 in the morning. Wow.
that, quote, Mr. O'Keefe was struck in the face with a cocktail glass, end quote, correct?
I do not recall contacting Good Samaritan Hospital.
May I approach?
Yes.
Yeah, smash that like button. Let's get this to 1,000 likes tonight for reaching over 25K subs. Let's get it to 1,000. We need 1,000 likes tonight. That's only like, I need half of you just to hit the like button. It's free. It's free. Let's get to 1,000
I'd
likes.
like you to
Super free.
take a look at this document, and if you wouldn't mind, pay special attention to the second page, the bottom paragraph where
It's
it's
where
tabbed.
Jackson's going to get him. Now he's like, these are the oh shit moments. Oh shit. How am I going to explain this one? How am I going to get my way out of this one? I did that a lot during the McCabe testimony. Look at him. That's stress. Putting your arm up like that, that's stress. How am I going to handle this one? The shuffling, that's stress. Let me speed this up for time. Excuse me. Let me take a deeper look at this. Now he knows he's fucked. Yeah, you got real red here too. Yep. Oh yeah, it says that. See him shake his head? Oh yeah, it did kind of say that, didn't it? Yeah. I'll tell you, these moments in court feel like forever. Celtics up 73-63. Thank you for the update.
Yes.
Here we go. Now he's like, you got me.
Thank you, sir.
You got me. Yeah, help. Oh yeah, Mark. Help.
Having reviewed this, does this refresh your recollection that you contacted Good Samaritan Hospital and gave them an assessment, at least based on your investigation at that time?
That is not true.
What did you say to Good Samaritan Hospital?
I never spoke to Good Samaritan Hospital. That document is for the medical examiner's office.
I'm not asking you where the document is from. I'm asking you if the document says Trooper Yuri Buchanan
Right.
called back.
Real quick, brutal honesty. A $6 pound will make that $6 US. Thank you so much. Says Jackson on Monday, Mr. Bukaki, were you present when the evidence was being proctored? I love that. That would be absolutely hilarious. Sending a hug to Karen Reed. Thank you for watching from Euro. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching from over across the pond. We appreciate it.
At 10:41, stating the case is now being treated as a suspicion.
The objection sustained.
Did you call back to Good Samaritan Hospital and say that the investigation was being treated as a suspicious due to a domestic situation? Did you say that?
I never spoke to Good Samaritan Hospital.
Did you say that there's a
He's getting around the fact that he did call and say this was, Holland in the house. He's trying to get around because he knows that he said that this was a domestic situation, but he's not going to admit to that on the stand. He's going to find his way around this, but he did say it.
possibility
In the document.
that D was struck in the face with a cocktail glass?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you ever contact anybody at any medical facility and indicate that the investigation was being treated as a suspicious, in quotation marks, because the victim appeared to have been struck in the face by a cocktail glass?
Objection.
Allow that. Did you ever say that?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I did say that to the medical examiner's operations desk.
But the fact is, you said it, sir. It is on the record. You said it. It's on the record. The jury now has heard it. It's on the record. So you can't whittle your way around this one, Bukaki. You said it and it's on the record.
Okay, so
Jackson
when I was
got it.
asking you if you ever sent it to Good Sam, you said, no, that's not true. That's never happened. You were correcting me on the fact that it happened at the medical examiner's office, not at Good Sam.
I responded and answered your question honestly, yes.
Okay. So honestly, you did, in fact, at 10:41 a.m. indicate to another professional involved in the investigation that the circumstance was being treated as a physical assault at that point, correct?
I communicated our suspicions to the medical examiner's office.
And that was at 10:41 or thereabouts in the morning, correct?
That's correct.
Your initial investigation during those obviously critical hours, the beginning hours, led you to believe that there was at least a good possibility. You indicated that you made a phone call, that it was a physical altercation that led to John O'Keefe's death, correct?
That's correct, yes.
What steps did you take, sir, in those moments, to determine whether someone in the house at 34 Fairview may have been involved in that physical altercation that you suspected at the time?
As investigations develop, we followed the evidence and statements made. The steps I took was Trooper Proctor and I proceeded to an eyewitness who was also present at the scene when the victim was discovered and interviewed Ms. McCabe.
And prior to that, prior to interviewing Ms. McCabe, by the way, that was at Ms. McCabe's home, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Even though you believe.
So why wouldn't you just pull them down to the police station? Why wouldn't you pull all these people that were down at 34 Fairview that night to the police station? You go to their home, you interview them? No recorded conversations? No videotape? I mean, you've all seen First 48. When people are witnesses and they're potential suspects, what do? Hey, come here. We got to go down to the police station. And then what is like 70% of that program? What do we see? We see the potential suspect or witness sitting in an interview room. There's a corner camera and they're being video and audio taped for the record. Why wouldn't you do that in this case? A Boston police officer is dead, died on an ex-police officer's lawn with an ATF agent that was inside that house with multiple people that all have connections to everybody involved in this. And you wouldn't think in your mind, after doing some detective work, hey, maybe we have a possibility here that these people are involved. That once didn't cross your mind. Okay. Makes sense. Let's just blame it on the last person that dropped off John. Because you know why? Because we think she's feeble and she's weak and she's not one of us. We want to keep our ivory tower tall and strong and not let anybody beat it down or chop it down. So let's blame it on the weak one. Well, guess what? Karen Reed's not weak. Karen Reed's not going to take a plea. Karen Reed's going to fight and fight hard. Because Karen Reed didn't do this. The people inside 34 Fairview did. All right, let's play on.
There may have been a physical altercation. You didn't ask anybody to come down to the station. Is that right? Any of the witnesses?
That's correct.
And you did not seek to actually go to the physical location of 34 Fairview in those next few hours?
That's correct.
Or the next few days, correct?
Not myself, no.
Okay. As a matter of fact, Trooper Proctor did not either, did he?
No, he did not.
You didn't secure the interior of the house as a potential crime scene. You certainly know how to do that, right?
That's a cop-out question. Do you want me to answer whether I did it or whether I know how to do it?
Well, I'll ask a question. If you don't, if you can answer it, please answer it.
Okay.
Can you answer that question?
I can answer that question.
Why don't you answer both of them then?
First portion is we did not secure the home as a crime scene. And the second portion, yes, I do know how to do that.
And you didn't, as a Massachusetts State Police official, you didn't secure the outside as a crime scene either, did you?
I did not know.
To your knowledge, nobody else from Massachusetts State Police ever did either, did they?
Yes, they did.
How was that done and when?
When members of our office and the CERT team responded to that location and secured the front yard grass area and processed it.
That was at
Yeah, this is good.
5:45, 6 o'clock that night on the 29th?
I believe it was earlier, but I was not present, so I can't testify to the time.
So you don't know personally what they did to
I'm gonna, listen, I'm gonna I'm not gonna say like fanboy, but I'm gonna say I was like kind of in awe. When I had the opportunity to sit, with Karen's team in court the other day, sit with the family, and to have that half an hour, down in that lower court, and I was like, whoa, like I'm actually seeing, I've seen the attorneys outside because I've been down to the courthouse and recorded them walking in, but to be able to see them and then actually have conversation with them, and I have to say, like, I think, from what you see on TV versus what you see in reality, and to see them, not, they're all business, believe me, but, human, I guess. It's like you're not watching them do their job. They come over and they're just so welcoming. And, I said this on my live the other day. Alan Jackson wasn't really a speech, but kind of stepped back and said, we thank all the local support. We thank all the support from around the world, because if Karen didn't have the support, that foundation, this case would be completely different. And I think completely different for her. I understand what he's saying. Completely different for her, because it would seem at that point, all she has is herself to dig out of this sham trial that's been pushed against her. I could see that. I would feel that too. Like, fuck, there's no one supporting me. And maybe at that point, you would give up and just say, well, let's just make it all go away. But that strong moral support from all of you around the world definitely makes an impact and puts a smile on every single one of their faces, especially Karen. And she was gracious and said, thank you so much for everything that you do. She doesn't know me. I'm just some fucking YouTuber that started a channel in my bedroom, in the corner of my bedroom, and saw this for what it was. And then when I started to dig in and get the story, the algorithm pointed me in the direction of Turtle Boy, and started to see what his reporting and what he was doing, peeling back those onion layers, and he's so good at it. I said, wait a minute. And you started reading through the affidavit and saying something doesn't seem right here. It's not adding up. And now being able to sit in that courtroom and watch those videos play and all that evidence play out, you're like, how the hell? This doesn't make sense at all.
quote unquote secure or not secure the crime scene. They searched it, but in terms of securing it as a crime scene, you don't have personal knowledge to that.
I was not present.
Okay. You never took any photos of the interior of the house, correct?
Excuse me.
I did not know.
You never caused CSSS to go inside the house and process that house as a potential crime scene, correct?
I did not know.
No forensic criminalist at your direction ever went into 34 Fairview?
No, they did not.
This is really bothering him. You can see it. He's visually bothered.
And the
right
people
now.
that you interviewed on January 29th, you already mentioned Ms. McCabe. The other people were her husband, Matt McCabe, correct?
That's correct.
And her brother-in-law, Brian Albert. Is that right?
That is correct.
And all three of them were interviewed where?
They were interviewed at the McCabe residence.
Why?
Now, yesterday when you testified,
Why? Why? Not at a police station. Not in a proper neutral location, not under a camera, not a voice recording, because they wanted to get the cover up straight. That's why. Get their story straight.
Did you indicate that Brian Albert was not present in the home when you interviewed Matt McCabe and Jennifer McCabe?
He was not present in the dining room when we were interviewing each individual separately.
So if all three of them testified that he arrived before you arrived, they would all be wrong.
I did not see him in the home when we arrived, no.
I want to switch gears real quick to a couple of the physical items that you testified about yesterday, specifically the gray shirt or the gray hoodie and the orange shirt. You and Trooper Proctor collected both of those items you indicated from the floor of the hospital at Good Samaritan, correct?
That's correct.
You testified that you and Trooper Proctor immediately bagged both of those items. They were sort of sopping wet, I think you said.
That's correct.
You indicated that the bags were so wet that you had to take the items back out of the bags and then lay them out on, I think you said,
This shit right here.
Is that right?
The items were soaked and wet. They were bagged, double bagged, to prevent leakage of physiological fluids and the moisture coming off of it. And then once they were transported to the office, they were laid out on butcher paper in order to dry naturally.
Unreal.
So you went from Good Samaritan directly to Dighton, correct?
That is correct.
And then you went from Dighton directly to the Canton Police Department, after which you had seized the vehicle, correct? And the phone.
We seized the phone in the vehicle in Dighton and then followed the tow truck straight to the Canton Police Department.
So at some
Real quick, just smash that like button. We only need 267 likes. We've about 1,500 people in here in the chat. I appreciate y'all being here. The like button's free. Let's get to 1,000. We get to 1,000 likes. It kicks this stream out into that evil algorithm. We can start educating more people on the Karen Reed case. We can get this out deeper into the algorithm. Smash that like button. Let's get to 1,000 likes.
point, if you had received or gathered the wet clothing at Good Sam, went from Good Sam to Dighton Canton PD, at what point that evening did you finally get those items of clothing out and laid out to dry?
It was late that night, around 10 or so.
So where were the items in the meantime?
Yeah.
They were stored in the back passenger compartment of my pickup truck.
In those double bags.
Correct.
Who took control of the items to then lay them out late that night at the office?
I do not recall.
Is that you or Trooper Proctor?
I don't recall. I don't remember.
At some point, obviously, it was getting late. You'd been on duty for a long time that day. You went home at some point, correct?
At some point, yes.
Did you wait for those clothes to dry before you went home, or did you leave that in Trooper Proctor's hands?
No, once they were laid out in the processing area in the office, we went home.
Okay. Who would have controlled those items of evidence when you left?
Well, they're under lock and key within the secure area of the district attorney's office, so they're secured. Nobody's in physical control watching
He's
guard
not
over
going
them.
to say
Who
who
had
would have
access to
access
that
to it.
Area.
Trying to get around it.
Troopers in
Proctor,
our office.
Morsi,
Meaning you, obviously.
Yes.
Supervisor.
you.
Trooper Proctor as well, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Ultimately, given the fact that he was the case officer, sort of in
Didn't want
charge,
to say it.
he would have bagged those items up, been responsible for taking those items, tagging them, getting them stored wherever they needed to be stored and processed, correct?
As a case officer, he could direct other people to perform those tasks for him. The evidence officer.
So Trooper Proctor went to Karen Reed's parents' house the day after and seized Karen Reed's car. And that was the whole towing it back from Dighton to Canton over a 30-minute drive in the snow, in a blizzard, and they're trying to claim that pieces of glass and fragments of taillight magically clung to the back of that bumper.
Officers in the
We'll add
office
$5 to the total.
log in the evidence, and once it was dried, it was sealed up, bagged, and put into storage. As far as who actually performed those tasks, I do not know.
Case
Well,
officer.
yesterday, Your Honor, may I approach courts, right? There's a couple of evidence.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, thin piece of hair. Forgot about that. Lady Law, thank you so much. Channel member, longtime subscriber, has been here back from like my Idaho days. We'll be picking that case back up too. But says Lady Law says, you are indeed the most sincere I know. Thank you for your content. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for being a moderator as well and a member.
This is not a vision contest. I'll bring these up to you in just a second, but just for familiarity's sake, do you recognize these two bags as bags that you brought to court with you yesterday?
Also, what I want you to notice too, if you look at the defense's table right now, okay, everything is all laid out. Notebook pads, pens, it's almost, it was perfect when we started. Obviously, we're into the, the trial, we're into testimony, so there are probably some moving parts. When I looked down and I looked, everything on that table was smooth and laid out. And fucking in comes Lally. And I wish I had a stack of books, because it almost looked like, like when you're walking down the street and like a fourth or a fifth grader, their backpack blows open and their books go all over the place and there's papers everywhere, and they grab them like this and they're trying to walk into class or walk into school. That's literally how he walked into court. And he throws his pile of books and notepads and papers up on the desk. How does that look to a jury? Does that, would a jury look at that and go, this guy is so fucking disorganized? And then you look at the defense and they got laptops and everything is clean and concise and they're ready. It's such a dynamic. It's so different. All right, let's keep playing here.
They look familiar, yes.
Okay. This one has a 437 on it on my right. The one on my left has a 438 on it. May I approach briefly?
Yes.
I love this one too. Look at Lally. Didn't even want to look at the evidence. He just shakes his head. I love this one too when he goes, can you please identify the writing on this bag? Would you say it's Trooper Proctor? And he goes, I don't know. You're his supervisor. You've probably seen his handwriting over 1,000 times on documents or evidence bags. And you're going to tell me that you don't know or couldn't identify Trooper Proctor's handwriting? You got to be kidding me. Look at Lally's desk. This is what I'm talking about. Look at his desk here. There's just papers and notebooks. And why is Laura McLaughlin even there? She doesn't do anything. Look at the papers. It's like, it's all over the place. It's so disorganized.
I'm not going to ask you to open those. Don't worry about it.
I am
Loving up.
sweet, by the way.
The bag on your left, which one is that? 437 or 438?
The bag on my left is 437.
437. Okay. And you indicated that those items were bagged after the clothing was dried and then ultimately processed in, logged in, correct?
We're so close to 1,000 likes. We're like 882. Come on. Just smash the like button. You need like 130 people to smash the like button. Smash that like button. Let's get this to 1,000 likes. I would appreciate it. All right, Donnie M, $10 says, you're the most genuine person covering this. You became my favorite after you showed raw emotion when your dad texted you while live. You have an army with you. Thank you, Donnie. Yeah, that was a very emotional moment. And the great thing is that, I've reconnected with my dad. And, if it wasn't for the Karen Reed case, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we would have had that connection, or just I know we would have connected again, but we needed like that icebreaker, and I think this was the icebreaker. And you know, I have to be very thankful for that. That I've had the blessing to cover this case. You know, listen, I have my own style. I cover it my own way. That's why y'all come here. You just want to hear my point and my opinion. And you know, it was cool. You know, my dad reaching out to me, and it was funny. So like the text came up and it said dad. I was like, wow, is that my dad? And then he said something about the what we were watching that night. And he said, I'm watching you. And I was like, wow. You know, it was pretty emotional. And I called him immediately after that. And we talk almost every day about the case. And I've had the opportunity to go out and see him, which is awesome. And, you know, we're going to continue that relationship. I have to be thankful, you know, that I was blessed to cover this case, because so many great things have happened in my life. I've had so many opportunities to do things, and you just make the right, you know, you treat people the right way. And I've always say that, treat people with respect, be genuine, and good things will happen, and you'll have those opportunities to do those things. And I've felt the need in my life that I've wanted to help people. And if I had the ability to do that and have a platform to do that on, sure, why not? Why can't I help some people? You know, give back. A lot of people don't give back. I've had a lot of people help me in my life. And if I can turn that around and take that energy that's been given to me and give it back to someone else, it's what I want to do here. It's why I want to do this, you know, have this platform, to have discussions with like-minded people, or have discussions with people that might not be like-minded, and maybe see and hear their point of view. But I've been blessed to meet a lot of great people, especially while covering this case. I've talked to attorneys, I've talked to journalists, I've talked to other popular, you know, content creators. I've had the ability to have them on my channel, talk to ex-police officers. But, you know, I have to say that if you want something in life, you have the ability to do it. I always say this, and I love this saying, and it's probably one of the most strangest people that you would think I'd ever grab this quote from. But you know, the wrestler, the Ultimate Warrior, and he always had this saying, just because you were born, you have the potential. I love that. If you are born, you have the potential to do anything in life. You just have to apply yourself, because no one's going to give it to you. My goal right now is to get a silver play button on this channel. I need 100,000 subscribers to do that. I am dead fucking determined to get that. I am not going to quit YouTube until I get that silver play button. That's an accomplishment. I taste it as a challenge now, because I've seen the growth in the channel. You know, it took me 3 years to get to this point. I don't care if it takes me another 10 years to get that silver button. I want it. I want to hang it proudly in this studio, or a studio that I build out in the future. Because this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I want to get better at it. All you can do is practice. And I use these lives as practice. But you all have the ability inside of you to do whatever you want. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't. Because if you truly believe in yourself and truly believe in your dream, you can do it. But you're going to have to do it yourself. No one's going to do it for you. And I've had many people in my life tell me I can't. And then I look at them and I say, really? I'll show you. And then I do it. And then I accomplish it. And you have that ability inside of you too. Don't let people beat you down. Don't give up. Fight like Karen Reed. She didn't want to give up. She didn't give up. She didn't roll over and let these fucking people take her. Fight back. Push hard. Do something. Give back. Teach someone something new. Learn something new. Don't be average. Push yourself to the ultimate. Be the best person that you can be. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with having self-pride. There's nothing wrong with smiling over your accomplishments, because that's why we're here on this earth, to learn and give back. To learn and give back to those generations that are coming up behind you. All right, let's keep getting on with testimony here.
Once the items dried, they were bagged and logged in, waiting process. Yes.
But you didn't personally do that.
No, I did not. No.
Matter of fact, looking at the bag on your right, what's been marked as Exhibit 430, help me, 438, thank you. That one has some writing on it, correct?
Yes, it has a lot of hand writing.
Who fucker now is going to try to go, oh, well, I don't know Trooper Proctor's handwriting. Come on, dude. You're a supervisor. You see reports. You see evidence bags.
On it, yes.
And that, whose handwriting is that?
I don't know.
You've seen Trooper Proctor's handwriting 1,000 times, I guess, correct?
Not a
Kelly said $20. Thank you. Says your speech brought me to tears. Thank you for that. Your coverage and support of Karen. Your coverage for support. I might be able to read this. Thank you for that. Your coverage and support for Karen and the truth. Thank you for the 20. I appreciate that. You know, if I can inspire someone on this channel, you know, I was sat here for a long time since the dawn of YouTube, and I said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Oh, I should have started a YouTube channel. Oh, I should have did that before. I should have did that before. And then finally in 2001, I got off my fucking ass and I posted my first video. This channel started as a BMW channel because I'm a BMW enthusiast. And then I kind of just didn't feel like it was going anywhere. And I could have pushed harder and went through that. Maybe made this a BMW channel. But then I was in the watch industry for 16 years. Said, well, why am I not talking about the things that are my strength? Let's talk about timepieces and wristwatches. And I met an amazing community of people that showed me the ropes on YouTube, that showed me how to live stream, that might have showed me how to make some thumbnails and graphics and how to interact with the audience. I spent, you know, maybe a year and a half doing that. Then I wanted to turn this into an actual podcast and talk about current events. That's how this started. And I do want to do that. And I had a partner that was with me for about 8 months. And we went back and forth and had some really great shows. And then, you know, he has his channel. He kind of broke off, and I still stay in contact here and there. He's a great person. And then I started filing the Idaho case. And that really lifted the channel at that time. And then I started diving and delving into some other cases. I don't know if I want to be a true crimer forever. Maybe this is my calling. I don't know. But if I didn't post my first video, I would not be here today. And that's why I say, stop saying I should have did that and just do it. God, I just used a Nike reference. That was kind of cringy. But you know what I'm saying. Just do it. Stop thinking about it. Put it into action. You never know what's going to happen. Shit. When I first started this, I started in my bedroom. I just built a studio out. I got the opportunity to go into court and sit with Karen Reed's team and her family and meet her, you know, awesome attorneys and her awesome family. And I've met so many of you out there at the courthouse. I would have never thought that, 4 years ago? But anyway, I digress. Let's try to get through some more of this testimony.
1,000 times, but
Does it look like his writing?
It says Trooper Proctor on it, but other
I'm
than that,
gonna
I do
stop.
not know what
No, I
Trooper
will.
Proctor's handwriting looks like.
Two.
Um,
Thanks for the 5.
It indicates that Trooper Proctor is the one
Add
that backed that,
25
that
before.
item or those items up, correct?
Yes, this bag indicates that the item was collected by Trooper Proctor on 129
Right.
at 10.
And it says Brockton, correct?
Good Samaritan Hospital in Brockton, yes.
You just took the question out of my mouth. That's where Good Samaritan Hospital is, correct?
That's correct.
And there's a tag or a printed label, looks like a label maker of some sort that is on that physical bag, correct?
Yes.
Before we get to that, what's the description on that bag in handwriting?
This, I'm sorry, can you be specific?
But the handwriting. Who wrote the handwriting? Hear him?
To description of what or
Where it says description of items.
Oh, that.
description of
Thank you
enclosed
so much
evidence?
for the $10
It says one
On
orange
Cash App.
T-shirt, one gray long sleeve shirt.
or Venmo.
So may I
Add
approach
10.
on it? Yes. Before I do that, just so I close this loop, what's the description on the bag to your left, the one that looks like it's less sprinkled?
Number 437.
Yes, if you would read the same clothing description.
The description of enclosed evidence states sweatshirt with recovered items inside container.
May I approach now?
Yes.
Thank you. Yesterday when you opened, I'll keep my voice up. Yesterday when you opened these two bags,
All right, so we had a $10 come through Venmo. Let's add that. Amy, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. You have access to all the memberships on the front page, all that members only videos. You have access to that and my members only lives. Let's add 15 to the total. All right, let's keep playing.
this one, 437, has the gray
And I'm
sweatshirt
not
in
going
it.
to court tomorrow.
438 has the orange T-shirt in it now, correct?
That's what was in the bag, yes.
All right. However, the bag indicates at one point, this bag, 438, the physical bag I'm holding in my left hand, had both the sweatshirt and the T-shirt together, correct?
That's what the description is. I do not know if that was in case or in fact the case.
The reason you don't know is because you're not the one that bagged Trooper Proctor did, correct?
The reason I don't know is I wasn't present during the separation of those items, and I did not observe it taking place, nor was I made aware of how the items were separated or when.
You are aware, however, that tag that's on the label maker looking tag, the white tag that's on that bag indicates that indicates a date of February 4th, correct?
You'd have to bring that back up.
I'm sorry.
I didn't take note of that.
My fault.
And I'll tell you, you don't realize how close you are to the O'Keefe family when you're sitting there. You are so close. There's a gentleman with a beard. I can almost feel him looking at me. That's how close I was. Oh, and here's something, another little tidbit. So before court starts, I'd use the restroom. You got to go all the way down to the basement. Go down to the basement, and the O'Keefes actually have a room there that they stay in before they come up to the upper court. I'm literally walking out of the restroom, and I hear, you can bring the O'Keefes up now. And they're literally behind me coming up the stairs, and I'm like, oh shit, like they know who I am. Hopefully, like, they're not going to say anything. They didn't say anything, very kind. Didn't say anything to me. And, we just walked in the courtroom. Everybody was quiet. I wasn't going to say anything. I have nothing to pounce on the O'Keefes about. They've been through enough, but it was an interesting experience.
Mayor, Your Honor.
Yes.
Let's direct your attention to the tag and the date associated with that tag.
The label maker tag does have the date
Add 5 to the total.
February 4th, 2022 on bag number exhibit 438.
May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Yep.
That's obviously 6 days after
I think the Celtics
The-
are going to sweep.
item was actually recovered on the 29th, correct?
Yes, it is.
So that indicates, at least based on that tag, that that item was not booked into evidence and processed until 6 days after it was actually recovered on the floor at Good Samaritan Hospital. Is that right?
The date indicates February 4th, 2022.
Right. And that date would be indicative, in your experience, of the date that is moved into processing by some other folks, the evidence sergeants or whomever, or the evidence officers rather, or whomever, correct?
I can't speak to their procedures as far as when they print the date. That date could be when they printed the label, but the bag might have been tagged otherwise. I do not know that.
But there's no other tag on that bag that suggests an earlier date, correct?
There's just that one tag from the label maker.
My question to you, if you know, sir, and you may not know, is what was happening to these items between January 29th, after
Yeah,
you
where were
lost
they?
sight of them that night on the butcher paper, and February 4th,
Yeah,
when that
I'd
tag
say-
indicates that they were first processed?
To the best of my knowledge, those items were drying on the butcher paper.
For 6 days?
Yeah, right.
If that's what the label maker says, yes, for 6 days. They were soaking wet.
So what?
And those would have been certainly accessible.
When I hand wash a shirt or a pair of jeans or something like that, you lay them out, they're probably dry in 24 hours. Like completely dry in 24 hours. 6 days. 6 days you had these clothes out on butcher paper?
Accessible to and in the possession of the lead case officer in the case was Trooper Proctor, right?
Yes, if Trooper
he was.
Proctor needed to review those items, he would have access to those items. Absolutely.
And you're also aware that the first actual log of any chain of custody for those items is March 14th, when they were finally submitted 6 weeks later to the crime lab.
6 weeks later.
That is not true. The first actual log of those items is when we collected them from the hospital.
Where's the log? I'm
Yeah.
talking about the physical log,
There's
like
no
the sign
log.
in, sign out log. Where's the log?
It's documented in the reports
Well, where's the log?
saying that we collected them.
I know that there's a report.
That's not what he's asking.
Anybody can write a report, right?
Right.
I can write a report. Doesn't mean anything. I'm asking for a log.
Objection.
So the objection sustained.
Obviously, when items move in and out of people's custody in an official capacity for the Massachusetts State Police, there's a log of that, correct?
It's documented. Yes,
Or at least it should be, correct?
it's documented.
Where's the log
Yeah.
of these items before March 14th?
It's documented in the report.
There is no log, is there, Sergeant?
I do not know.
I want to talk.
Real quick, Donnie, $10. Thank you, Donnie. Donnie says butcher paper, pig DNA on the sleeve. Did they get butcher paper from the same source that provided the red Solo cups? Barbecue time. I love that. Barbecue time. Yeah, seriously. Come on.
A little bit about some searches that Mr. Lally asked you about, February 4th and February 10th, very specifically. Both of those searches you were involved with out at 34 Fairview, correct?
$5. DK says, so did the butcher paper have pig blood on it? Interesting. Good question.
Correct.
But Sergeant, you didn't personally write a report about your conduct at 34 Fairview on either of those 2 dates. In other words, you didn't go back to the station and generate a report yourself.
I don't recall doing that, no.
No one recalls that.
There were no photos that you took of the items at the location.
I did
Else took photos, correct?
I did not take photos of the items.
Okay.
Haley, $5. Super chat. Thank you. Says 6 days is longer than it takes my husband oil mud covered coveralls to completely dry out. No way it took forever for his clothes to that long for his clothes to dry. I completely agree. We know what's going on. That's just doctoring the evidence.
And the first report that indicates anything that happened or was recovered at the location on either February 4th or February 10th, that was first notated in a report dated November 4th, 2023, year and a half, year and several months later, correct?
Chloe.
If you say so, I do not
love the
know
chat.
the exact date. That report would have to.
That by far right there is the best chat that I've pulled up all night. Chloe says, someone come to Vermont and save me.
Be presented to me.
Mayor Pro,
Best.
Yes.
I love that.
you don't have to read the whole thing, but if you can skip to the part that talks about the February 4th and February 10th searches.
All right, let's speed this up for time. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you're finished already. What's the date of that? Well, let me ask a foundational question. Does that refresh your recollection as to the date of the report that actually talks about the February 4th and February 10th searches?
It does.
And what's the date of that report, sir?
This report is dated November 4th, 2023.
Thank you. Mayor Proch?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, as it relates to those two searches, I'd like to ask you a little bit about the February 4th search first. You indicated that you actually responded to 34 Fairview personally, correct?
I was responding to that location on my own. I personally responded, yes.
Okay. That was because you had received information that Chief Berkowitz
Yeah.
had seen something or found something.
Dun, dun,
Is that right? Chief
dun.
Berkowitz from Canton PD.
That is not correct, no.
Okay. So when you got there, was Chief Berkowitz there?
Yes, he was.
You just happened to go by 34 Fairview at the exact same time on the exact same date as Chief Berkowitz?
What's the coincidence? What is the coincidence? Right, Alan Jackson? What is the coincidence?
Or was that coordinated in some way?
Yeah.
There was no coordination between me and Chief Berkowitz. As I
Bullshit.
testified, I had directed the troopers to go by the location. I planned to go by the
Bullshit.
location in the morning on the way to the office and in the afternoon on the way home, just to see if any more items would reveal themselves. So that morning, I was actually traveling to that location in order to conduct a view of the area to see if any more evidence had been revealed. Prior to my arrival,
Been revealed prior to my arrival.
approximately while I was on Chapman Street, I received a call indicating that Chief Berkowitz was at the location, yes.
And was there also an Officer Lank, Sergeant Lank?
I do not know if Sergeant Lank was there, no.
Okay. Chief Berkowitz certainly was there.
Yes,
And Chief Berkowitz indicated that as he was driving by, he saw a piece of glass
yes.
and stopped his car and then started making phone calls.
I believe that's what he indicated to the caller, yes.
Did you question Chief Berkowitz about why he was driving by the location in the first place?
Absolutely not.
Okay. You knew at that point that the Canton Police Department had been recused because of at least an appearance or potential for a conflict of interest, correct?
I knew they recused themselves due to only in respect to interviews. They didn't want to conduct interviews with us side by side.
I mean, if there's a conflict of interest, Sergeant, for department, conducting the interviews is just one aspect of an investigation, correct?
I'm not going to speak like a conflict of interest, but yes, conducting an interview is just one aspect of the investigation.
So is it your testimony that your understanding was they couldn't conduct interviews, but they could collect evidence, store evidence, write search warrants, get returns on search warrants, execute search warrants, conduct searches? They could do all that and not conduct interviews?
My understanding was they were recusing themselves from conducting interviews. They still allowed us to use their facilities. We utilized their conference room to conduct interviews. There was evidence being stored at their Sally Port, being the vehicle. So that was my understanding.
Isn't it true that you knew that the entirety of the Canton Police Department had
Because they had to smash the taillight and spread it out all over the place. Spread it all out. I love when we get into that too. How far was all the people? 30, within a 30, what would you say, 30-foot distance? You're trying to tell me that this taillight just exploded like dynamite and flew all over the place. It's absolutely preposterous. Let's add $5 to the total.
Recused itself because of a familiarity between one of their members, Kevin Albert, and the Albert family on whose lawn John O'Keefe was found. That was the conflict, correct?
I knew that that was the connection between them, yes.
And you understood, sir, that that agency was to have nothing from an investigative standpoint, nothing to do with this investigation, correct?
They were not conducting the investigation, no.
Matter of fact, Trooper Proctor and you supervising him, y'all were conducting the investigation, right?
Our office was conducting the investigation.
So did you find it unusual or suspicious in any way that the chief of police for the conflicted Canton PD was the
Kimmy, sorry I missed this, and we're getting to a point here with Jackson. Michael Kimmy, longtime member. Thank you so much. 5 months. Sorry. It says Sallyport GMT timestamp is what makes it fake. Kimmy actually has been on my show before. She worked for Verizon Wireless, or just Verizon. I think was it wireless or just Verizon in general. And she did a Bluetooth special with me. And I'm going to be curious too, because we kind of tracked some things down in the Idaho case and came to some conclusions. And the reason that we came to this conclusion that Brian Koberger's phone may have touched a Bluetooth speaker inside the 112 King Road was because we heard in an interview that during that interview of Kaylee Gonzalez's family, or parents, I'm sorry, Christy and Steve, they said that Kaylee Gonzalez's Bluetooth speaker was in evidence for a very long time and hadn't been released months after the murder. And I said, oh no, they actually still had it in evidence. I'm sorry. And we can come to the conclusion that Brian Koberger's phone may have touched that Bluetooth speaker, created a handshake with it. Now I'm wondering, because what happens is when you, and we, Kimmy knows about this stuff, when you have Bluetooth turned on, these are all the things that my phone right now is trying to make a handshake. All those devices, my Bluetooth is on. So it's sending out a small wave radio signal right now to those devices in and around my room or in this building. It's trying to create a handshake. It will try to connect with a device. And if it does, it creates, and I may be wrong on this, Kimmy, and you can probably correct me, a log of that in the device, or maybe creates a log on the phone. I can't remember. She's more of an expert in this. But anyway, my overall point is I'm wondering if John's phone either touched the Wi-Fi that night or possibly a Bluetooth device inside that home, which would do what, folks? Confirm that John was inside that home. And maybe Karen's team has that information. So I'll be curious to see. Creates it on the phone. Thank you for clearing that up. 599er says, I should add, I think the arm injuries are from a dog. And I'm just saying to get in mind of, just saying it to get in the mind of Proctor. I think we all agree on that as well. And I saw another chat come in. WB says at day 19, about 46 minutes K. O'Hara's testimony, definitely black soul. Please explain this from the white. Yeah, there's been a lot of conversation about that. A lot of conversation about that. And I did check my text from Kimmy. That's why I went back to her milestone chat. All right, let's try to get through some more of this.
Driving by 34 Fairview looking for evidence.
Objection.
Can you answer that question, Sergeant?
He would have to repeat it. There's just so much I can't.
It was a little wordy. I'll try it again.
Add 10.
Did you find that
Thank you, Donnie.
Which part? You have to repeat the whole thing.
That Chief Berkowitz
100%.
from the conflicted Canton PD was at 34
You're welcome,
Fairview
Kimmy.
looking for evidence.
The way you posed the question, I did not find it suspicious at all.
Maybe I'll have Kimmy back on sometime. Kimmy, maybe you can jump up for like a half an hour. We'll do a show. Maybe, we'll do a half an hour if you have time. And we can talk about Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and how they create in geofencing and how that's all created and how that's all logged on phones and devices, because your insight was really good. And I'm wondering, though, the FBI in this case had found some reports of that, because if John's Bluetooth was on or his Wi-Fi, it definitely tried to touch inside that house. And they're going to have all that data, all that geofencing data. So maybe we can plan that. All right, let's keep playing.
He's the chief of the police in the town where he works, and he's driving down the street. I mean, that's not suspicious.
With a conflict of interest on the very case that he's driving by.
Objection.
Sustained.
You certainly knew, as a supervisor over the case officer, that any involvement by Canton Police Department, given the fact that there's a potential conflict, any involvement by them could compromise your otherwise clean investigation. You knew that, right?
Not necessarily, no.
Did Chief Berkowitz disclose to you that morning on February 4th that he had been communicating with Brian Higgins and Brian Albert, two witnesses on your case that morning?
Objection.
Sustained.
If you knew information about communication between and among Canton PD and your witnesses, you would find that inappropriate, would you not?
Objection.
Sustained.
You returned to the scene on February 10th, is that right? To conduct another search, you said.
I was present on the 10th, yes.
Who dispatched you back to, or did anybody dispatch you back to that location on February 10th? How did you end up there is a better way to ask it.
February 10th, just like previous days, we made plans to go to the location in the morning, in the afternoon, drive by. I was on my way to work and to home. So I traveled that route on purpose. And as evidence revealed itself due to the natural melting of the snow, we would stop and collect the visible evidence.
You believe at this point, sir, that whatever you might collect at the scene would obviously be important, correct?
Anything we collected that had evidentiary value or presented itself as somehow related to the crime or the incident would be collected.
And it would be important to the investigation, right? You treat it as important.
It is important, yes.
So my question is, was, especially as it relates to the February 10th search, where there were multiple items found, did you seek to have CSSS come out and actually either mark with GPS coordinates or measure with cross coordinates exactly where each item of evidence was found?
We did not do that. We had collected so much evidence already, and so much has been documented at that point, that we did not contact crime scene services to come back out and photograph more shards of glass and plastic. We simply collected it for processing.
So the location of each one of those items
So they collected it. They didn't call crime scene. They collected it. Okay.
not of that great importance to you, at least at that time?
Right.
It was of great importance as to the fact that it was located in the vicinity where the victim was found and in the vicinity of other items located of the same characteristic, shape, size, and color.
So that's my question, Sergeant. What does vicinity mean?
In the area.
Okay, what does area mean?
Right. I love this.
It's a location, specific location.
Okay.
What is the
Are we
location?
talking about, we can do this all day, I guess.
I
Are we
love
talking
that.
about an area of 5 feet or an area of 50 feet?
I remember that in court. I kind of chuckled a little bit. I was trying to kind of like chuckle and hide it. He's like, we can do this all day. I did not watch the Celtics, Steve, but I got updates here because we've been live here. But yes, go Celtics. And everybody knows I am a Celtics fan. So, but I love that. We can do this all day. I love that. So good.
Based on where the items were recovered, we're talking about an area approximately of 30 square feet between the roadway into the grass. It's the
We saw photographs, Sergeant, of items that were butted up against a fire hydrant in one instance, correct? Is that yes?
That's correct, yes.
Drinking straw that's out in the
Add
road,
2 to the
correct?
total.
That's correct.
Another shard of glass that's in the grass, closer to
correct.
the flagpole, correct?
Correct.
A hat that's under the snow, adjacent to the left side of the flagpole, correct? I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was closer to the electrical box, wasn't it?
No, the pictures documented where the hat was. It was to the right of the flagpole.
So these shards of glass, the point I'm asking is, did you seek to use basic cross coordinates, measurements from
Right.
something that you know is a known object, like for
Getting
instance, I
blasted
don't know,
here,
a
by the
flagpole
way.
or a fire hydrant? 27 inches to the north and a foot and a half to the south of those two known points. That would give you a cross coordinate, correct?
It would document the exact location, correct?
And you did not do that with any of these items, correct?
The items that were not photographed were not also GPS located, but they were within the same vicinity of where the other items were collected.
But again, now we're back to the same question.
Right.
Your word
Moving
for
around it.
vicinity might be different than my word for vicinity, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
Free Karen Reed. Thank you. We'll add the 5. Thank you. Yes, Dina, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the support. 25% will get kicked back
When you
tonight. We're
recover these
keeping
items, or
total
any other
in the,
items,
the
it's
chat room.
obviously important to memorialize on the evidence bag or in some other way exactly where they're found, who found them, the date, time, etc. Correct?
We do the best we can to document all known information on each evidence item bagged at the time.
And in terms of the February 10th search, I want to just ask you a couple of quick questions about that evidence bag. Did you bag the items into a single evidence bag that you found that day, or do you recall?
I would have to see the bag. If you have those available, I'll take a look. I can answer
With
them.
the court's permission, exhibit, I think it's 310 that was entered into evidence yesterday. I'd like to display that for a second.
Okay.
You're looking at a photograph of what was previously entered into evidence as 310. Can you see that from where you're at? I don't have the evidence bag with me, so if you don't, I can certainly ask the space to enlarge it.
If you can enlarge it, please.
Just a portion of the record. Madam Mayor, approach.
Yes.
I didn't realize I've got a photograph of it.
Do you need the lights on, Sergeant?
Please.
There you go.
Thank you.
Should make it easier.
I'm going to speed up a little bit. I want to get to this. I want to get here. Let's talk about the video backing up.
It's the 5:07 a.m. video
This
of
is what I want to get to. Let me just get this through really quick. Donnie, $50. Wow. Thank you so much. Big, huge super chat. Follow through with the audit of the Canton PD. Never give up. By the way, I was out the other day at, I don't want to say like a party, but an after gathering. We went to the Waterfall Bar, a whole bunch of the Free Karen Reed supporters. Thursday, we were all there. I talked to Rita Lombardi. I'm going to have set up a show with her this week and have her come up and kind of update us on the audit. I know you're all asking questions about that. So I'm going to get Rita on. She said, anytime, reach out to her. I'll get her on. Maybe we'll do an hour. We can talk about the audit and she can give us some updates. Let's see. Mary Beth, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you. We'll add that to the total as well. Donnie, thank you so much for the 50. I really do appreciate it. 25% of that will get kicked back to Karen Reed tonight. All right, let's keep playing. I want to get to this video. This is where, when I was in court, they're going to show the enhanced video when they show John O'Keefe's Traverse tire and Karen back up, and you literally could audibly hear, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it here, but I heard a couple of the jurors go, and I saw like 3 or 4 of them literally go back in their seat like this. It was like the moment they were waiting for. Peggy, wow. Thank you so much for the 20 gifted memberships. I appreciate that. Welcome in new members. So we're going to add $100, another $100 to the total tonight. And that's going to be a month free membership, a $4.99er. And then if you want at the end of that month, just continue. It's to help support the channel. You don't even have to go back for a $4.99er. Just sign up for $1.99. My membership started at $1.99. All right, let's get through this. Let's hear.
Street's car pulling out of the One Meadows garage. You remember that video?
I do.
Okay. You indicated yesterday on
Get to 1,000.
under questioning by
That'd be
Mr.
great, right?
Lally that Miss Reed's car came in contact with or close to coming in contact with the other vehicle, the Traverse, in the video. Is that right?
The video, as I watched the video, I observed the vehicle come near Mr. O'Keefe's car.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about.
Great. That's what Jackson wanted.
With the
Let's
court's
go.
permission, may we play that video one more time?
This is not the water
Pull that
bottle.
up, and then I'm going to ask you to pause it and get out of the way.
Excuse me.
Okay, you just play that for a quick second, and then I'll ask you to pause it. Pause. Does that appear to be, I'm just pausing it in the first 2 or 3 seconds, does that appear to be the video that you saw yesterday?
It appears that way, yes.
Okay. Mr. Bates, if you could enlarge the area around the left rear tire of the Traverse. I'm going to ask you, sir, if you'll pay close attention to what's been zoomed, and when the SUV gets close to it, I'm going to pause it and ask you another question. Can you go ahead and play this?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this.
So why don't we pause the screen, take it down, and I'll see you at sidebar.
It's cool because I remember doing this. I did this on my channel way before court. If you haven't seen my version of it, I've played it a couple of times, and I'm like, wow, they actually did the same thing that I did. Daniel, thank you so much for becoming a new member. We'll add $5 to the total. I appreciate that. Obviously, I'm going to speed up here for time, and we're going to get to see where as far as court, I'm not going to be in court this week. I won't be in court, but I probably am going to be going down to court possibly Friday, because I have Friday and Saturday off. But Friday, I don't know if there is court. Is there court on Friday? If there's court on Friday, I'm definitely going to go. But I will be doing recaps throughout the week. All right, let's speed up here. Teresa, thank you so much for the 1999ers. Says thank you for the support of Karen. Thank you for your support in the stream. I appreciate it. All right, let's speed up here. I'm going to double time it. Sidebar. We're at a sidebar. Full day on Friday. Yeah, I'll be out there Friday. I'm going to go out and support. Freedom Fighter checking in. Brian, my studio is pretty much done. That's awesome. Add 5. It's a lot of work. It's not easy. It's not easy. Let's start. I just say, just start. Do it. Just post a video. Let's see. Let's go back. This is going to start up here in a second.
Sure.
All right, here we go.
When they enlarge that, the rear area of the Traverse. And I'm going to ask you to pay special attention to the back wheel and any movement that you may or may not see.
We kicked 25% of that back to Karen.
Okay, pause it. Okay, in about the next 3
Here it
seconds,
comes.
Sergeant, I'm asking you to pay special attention to the wheel. Go ahead.
Ooh.
We can have the lights on.
I want want to go back and listen. Can we hear the jury?
And you can take that down.
Let's listen.
Sergeant, were you able to see that video? I know it's not the clearest thing in the world.
A little bit.
Your Honor.
Sure.
You can hear the jury. Because I heard the jury. A couple of them went, oh.
Okay, go ahead and enlarge the rear area of the.
So real quick, and just to clear this up, okay, or give you some context here. I'm in court. I know this moment's happening. I know this moment's coming because I've seen it. I made a video like this, so I know. And we've seen this video over and over and over again. I know it's coming. I'm not watching Jackson. I'm not looking at Turtle Boy. I'm not watching the defense table. I'm not watching the prosecution. I'm not watching that screen. I have turned to the jurors now. I want to see their reaction when Karen's car hits John O'Keefe's Traverse. I want to see what their reaction is. A couple of them are literally up like this. Okay? And we're going to see it. That video backs up, bumps the Traverse, and I saw at least 4 of them go. And I heard some audible, it was, you could hear it in the courtroom. I don't know if we can hear it here, and I want to try to listen. I knew it was coming. And I went, I just want to see what their reactions are. All right, let's play this through.
I ask you to pay special attention to the
Add 5.
back wheel and any movement that you may or may not see.
Thank you for becoming a new member. Kamala Norris, thank you. We'll add 5 to the total. All right, let's go. Let's listen.
Okay, pause it. Okay, in about the next 3 seconds, Sergeant, I'm asking you to pay special attention to the wheel. Go ahead.
Oh, did you hear
We
that?
can have the lights on,
Oh, that was from the jury.
and you can take that down. Sergeant, were you able to see that video? I know it's not the clearest thing in the
That was the jury. If you go back and listen, that's from the jury. It's from the jury. I was there. I witnessed it. And their eyes lit up like saucers. Maybe you can hear a little bit better with earphones in. I heard it. I know I was there. I heard it. I looked right at them. I know all of the jurors that did that audible gasp. All right, let's play.
Were you able to see that video okay?
Yes, I
What did
did.
you notice about the rear wheel of the Traverse?
Based on the motion in the shot with the snow falling, it appears that there is movement, but the video speaks for itself.
What would you assess based on the movement of the rear wheel of the Traverse about whether or not the 2 vehicles came in contact with one another?
Objection.
Sustained.
Okay. I have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm trying to use my time wisely, Your Honor.
Donnie, big super chat. Thank you so much. $100 super chat. Thank you so much. Donnie says, I noticed the snow on the bumper before and after contact. Really, the only missing piece is clear. You won't see that. But if it fell on the bumper, before I close the stream down tonight, I'll get my video because you can see a little bit more of after when Karen's car pulls out, and I point out some more things that you can check out in that video. Excuse me, but I will drop that link before I leave so you can go back and review my version of kind of what they did here in court. I added more to it. LJ, new member. Let's add 5 as well. Marissa, thank you. New member. Let's add 5 as well. So we'll add 110 to the total. And then 25% of that will get kicked back to Karen Reed tonight. And I'll explain the process at the end of this, how I do it, so you all understand and there's complete transparency. We're at 862 total in this stream, and 215 of it will get kicked back to Karen Reed. 1,000 would be great. All right, let's go.
Yesterday, Sergeant, you were asked about a couple of videos related to the Sallyport garage. You have that in mind?
Yes.
Matter of fact, we watched one of them pretty specifically toward the end of the day yesterday. Did you actually, I want to talk about the one that is the clearer of the
Sallyport
two,
video. Here we go.
where you slip. You remember that one?
If you pull it up, I can.
I will in just a second.
Okay.
There was one where Mr. Lally paused it and you were slipping in front of the vehicle.
I don't recall myself slipping, no, but it was icy that day. So if there's documentation of me slipping,
Fair enough. I didn't mean anything by that other than that was a moment that I thought you might recall to differentiate the videos. It's exhibit 446, but I don't think that's going to help you. All right, let's see if I can do this another way. Did you actually personally go to Canton PD to retrieve any or all of the videos of the Sallyport? You yourself?
I did go to Canton and collect already extracted video,
Okay.
but it was a portion of video surveillance. I didn't.
Kamala, pronounced Kamala, longtime lurker, first time live. Love your channel. Thank you so much for the 20. I appreciate your donation. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I apologize if I insulted you, but thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for clearing that up. All right, let's keep playing.
Collect all of the videos. So
being a member.
When was the
Mr.
most
Subscriber.
recent time that you went to Canton to collect a portion of the video?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Did you review well, let me ask it this way. Did you collect the video that was sought on or about April 23rd or 24th this year? Meaning just a few weeks ago.
Did I collect it?
Correct.
I did not collect that video of April this year. No.
Or you're aware that the video that you saw yesterday was in fact collected after the trial started in April of 2024?
Objection.
Sustained.
Are you aware of when that video that we saw yesterday was collected?
Objection.
Oh,
I am not aware.
Okay. Was yesterday the first time you'd seen that video?
No.
When had you seen that video previously?
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay. What were the circumstances in which you saw that video?
Objection.
sustained.
Did you have a meeting with the DA?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you ever have any kind of
This fucker's lying so bad. And you can see it in his face. Makes me so angry.
communication with Mr. Lally about your testimony?
Objection.
Sustained.
A reproach.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get some testimony here. All right, I'm gonna speed this up just for prime purposes. Sidebar. Actually, if I go normal, I can go.
Okay, and that video was that you did see the second time was the interior video of the Sallyport that we saw yesterday, correct?
I'm just trying to remember exactly what video I saw. I had reviewed videos outside of our meeting, so I don't remember exactly what video Mr. Lally showed me.
But you do recall seeing the video that you saw yesterday the sort of clear one that has the crime scene tape being put up and all that. You have seen that one before,
Yes,
and that was with Mr. Lally, correct?
that is not correct because I do not recall when I saw that video or what video I saw with Mr. Lally.
I see. All right. I'd like to talk about that exhibit 446 for a second, and then I'll show it to you. You indicated that the video that you, all the videos, everything that you saw yesterday was true and accurate, correct? Based on your memory of the events that were memorialized in the video?
The video captures events taking place in an accurate fashion, yes.
In an accurate fashion. All right, that's what I wanted to find out. And after you watched the video, I think you were asked by Mr. Lally, does the video show you or Trooper Proctor having access to or messing with in any way that right rear tail light in any fashion? And you said, never.
I was asked if at any point Trooper Proctor and I had came into contact, I believe, or touched the vehicle and that portion of the vehicle, and I said never. We never touched the vehicle prior.
Well, it's because we couldn't see it because y'all flipped the video and tried flipping the script on us, and you got caught. Man, Monday is going to be. Tomorrow is going to be very, very. I keep saying Monday because I just feel like it's just the beginning of the weekend. But tomorrow is going to be a very, very interesting day in court.
To it being properly processed with a search warrant.
And that was specifically his question was to, and your answer was to the right rear portion, right? That right rear tail light.
The right rear damaged taillight, correct.
With the court's permission, I'd like to play a portion of Exhibit 446.
Okay.
Here we go. Buckle up. So first of all, if you didn't catch it, and it took me a little bit, now that we know, look at that number 4. Look at that number 4. And I didn't catch it right away until I figured out that the driver's side was reversed. So that the taillight in question was always away from the camera, and they tried making it look like it wasn't. They're trying to make that look like it's the passenger side. And you can see right there, look at police on that classic car. It's reversed. Right here.
Playing it, Mr. Bates, if you wouldn't mind, may I inquire, Your Honor, of the witness, just to lay a foundation? Yes. Sergeant, do you recognize this?
I think most of the juries right now are tuned out at this point. Only really kind of tune in when Alan Jackson. I only had the privilege to see, I had the privilege to see Alan Jackson work, but I'm pretty sure that they're in tune every time someone gets up from that defense table.
This is being the video that we saw yesterday?
It does look accurate.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. This is 446, just so you have it in mind if I reference that. Space, if you could play that. And I
can say this, Jackson was fucking thrilled at the end of court because we stood up, everybody started to leave. The Glare and I were still kicking back with Jackson. Jackson comes over to us and says, I am so glad the jury got to see that video of the Sally Port before they left today. And I remember him saying that. And I mean, they fucked up bad. Meaning the Commonwealth.
Do you recognize that as the video we saw yesterday?
Yes, I do.
Look at that perfectly cut crime scene tape.
Very briefly, if you could move to time of day, 5:37:05.
Donnie, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. So much, so generous tonight. Thank you. And Donnie says, for you and Casey on a date night. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. 25% of that will get kicked back to Karen Reed tonight. I appreciate that. Thank you. Very, very kind, very generous. Let's see. Karen chipping in with a $2 Canadian says Chloe ate the chain of evidence logs. It could be. It could be. All right, let's keep playing here. Donnie, thank you so much. Very, very generous tonight. Thank you. So close to 1,000. It'd be great. Now, someone asked about the snow being cleared out, and I see, you can see the snow here. I want to see when they back out. There's the driver's side. That's the driver's side. You right there. It's kind of where I'm like, wait a minute.
With court's permission, can we play at this point?
Yes.
All right, that shows the vehicle coming into the Sally Port, and we're looking at which side of the vehicle?
So that is the driver's side of the vehicle. What
Right.
that video depicts is a mirror collection. Although mirrors are accurate representation of what you're seeing, it's just inverted. So
It's not, because you now are still hiding the taillight in question. You can sit there and try to say this all day. And fucking Plevin sees this video and he goes, look, you can already see. It's already, you can see all the pieces falling out of it right there. It's on the other side, dude.
So that is the driver's side of the vehicle. I do not know why it is inverted, but that's the way it was presented, collected and presented from Canton Police.
Can you see a timestamp or a time and date stamp on the bottom of that? It's in blue.
I cannot know.
Does it appear
I think micro
that time and date stamp, if you can't read every letter on it, that
clip that and put it out. I know someone did on Twitter. The toothy hurdy. Toothy hurdy. Let's make it 1,000. Thank you so much. Snow on the ground came off the Lexus. It had way more snow on it on the tow truck video. That's a really great observation. Super cool. Thank you. Albert says shaming of Jay has a 5.5 minute Sally Port video. In the beginning, the SUV comes in one door, it's daylight, and the other, it's the door, it's dead of night. Thank you so much for the 5. I'll have to check that out. Plevin is a tool. We had a Cash App come through too. Let's read that. $14 Cash App. Donna, thank you so much. We'll add that to the total. I think we've reached over 1,000 tonight, and 25% of that will get kicked back to Karen Reed. And I'll show you how, I'll let you all know how that's going to go down, just for clarity and transparency. All right, let's go. Let's wrap this up.
is in correct order. In other words, that's not inverted.
I cannot read it now.
Yes.
All right, let's go and play this.
Celtics in 4, baby.
Who is that just got out of the car?
Oh,
I do not know. I think that's the tow truck driver. He would have the only.
that means he drove the car in, and what you're trying to represent in this video is the passenger side, but you got caught. You got caught. Tina, thank you so much for the 5. Coffee money for tomorrow. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate it. All right, let's go.
access to the vehicle. We did not touch the vehicle.
Who's that on the left?
I missed it. I was looking down at the laser pointer. I do not know. I know for a fact I'm the gentleman that's wearing a
Looking down at the laser.
dark olive drab state police baseball style hat, and Trooper Mike Proctor is wearing a winter hat.
Trooper Proctor's wearing what?
A winter hat.
back that up, just moved that was playing, and I didn't realize it was playing while you were talking.
So one of my channel moderators made a good point and said that the dolly that's here is missing when they're putting the crime scene tape up. I want to play it forward, and then we'll go back before I end the stream. We'll take a look. So I don't know if anybody noticed that. Interesting how close it comes to the door, too. I know there was no damage on the door, but look how close that is to hitting that.
So, and so,
So
yesterday
all
when you
they used to
testified,
do to hold the
you
crime scene
indicated
tape.
that the two individuals in this scene were you and Trooper Proctor, correct?
That is not correct. There was two
$5.
individuals in the rear.
Albert says $5. Can see it in the video where you're showing right now the front door daylight and the back is dead of night. Huh, interesting.
The vehicle.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is interesting. Or maybe there's an outside light, but what I think Albert's saying is if you look here, this looks like it's almost daytime outside, and then out back here it's black. There might be a light shining through this door. Let's take that into account. There might be like a outside street light or a spotlight there. But that is interesting too. It almost looks like it's split, and this is daytime here, and this is night over here. Very interesting.
Shine my light to. That was me and Trooper Proctor.
Do you see Trooper Proctor toward the back of the rear of the vehicle there?
I can't tell because of what the head is. I just know that Trooper Proctor was wearing a black hat.
Which the person in that in the video to the left, to the rear of the car, is wearing a black hat, correct?
Yeah, it has to be
I can't
light.
tell.
It's a light.
I don't want to be locked into a statement where later on you show me that it's somebody else magically. I can't testify to that.
There's no magic about this. It's your testimony. I'm just asking you what you see.
I don't see that. No.
DW 1999, we'll round that up to 20, said, "Go Brian, go, and fuck Bukkake. I hate arrogant people who have nothing to back their arrogance." Thank you so much for the 20. We're going to add that to a total. We're at 1,049, 25% of that. We'll get back to Karen Reed tonight. Thank you. All right, let's go. Thank you.
So, let's go ahead and play it this way. Do you see the person toward the back of the vehicle walking toward the opposite side?
Microdots checking in says this video has so many problems. Yeah, I'd say, right? I'd say.
Of the SUV?
I do.
What area does he appear to be going to?
It appears to be going towards the rear passenger side of the vehicle, although it does not appear so because the video is inverted, a mirror image.
So
That's
we're
where
hiding
he's
the
going.
tail light.
And Sergeant Butte, you testified for at least a half an hour about this video yesterday, correct?
Oh, Jackson,
I'm sorry, it was a long day. I don't know the timing of how long I testified.
Fuck
You significantly testified about this video yesterday, did you not?
I testified about this video.
And you testified that it was true and accurate, correct?
Correct.
You testified that it was reflective of your observations of what was happening in that Sally Port that evening.
Ashley, thank you so much for the $9.99. We'll round that up to $1. Add that to the total.
Correct?
I testified that this is a accurate scene and collection of video evidence from the Sally Port.
And as that truck sits in that Sally Port, just like this, it appears from all perspectives that what we're looking at is the passenger side of the car, and that right rear taillight is right there shining in our face, correct? From this perspective.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
From this perspective, from the perspective that the jurors are looking at,
Okay.
from all
Oh man, I remember this too. Jury was so fixed in at this point. Like we were tennis matching it. We're watching Jackson, watching Bukkake, watching Jackson, watching Bukkake. I'm looking at the jurors. They're doing the same thing. it's like a tennis match right now. It was very intense at this point.
Indications that would appear to be the right side of the truck, the passenger
He's gonna
side of the
blast
truck.
him right now.
And that taillight, you
Blasting
can
him.
see, is the right rear taillight from this perspective, correct?
The way it presents itself, yes.
And yesterday, during the entirety of your questioning by Mr. Lally, not once did you mention that this video is actually completely inverted,
I
correct?
did not know.
Mr. Lally didn't ask you if it was inverted, correct?
That's correct.
And if I hadn't gotten up here and begun questioning you, that would be left uncorrected, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
So
The
good.
person with the winter cap appears to walk directly to the what ultimately should be the right rear taillight of this car, correct?
That's the vicinity, yes. That's where he is. Yeah.
I mean, this was like primo stuff right here. It was so good.
Awesome. I'd like you to pay attention to the right rear.
Yeah, and I'd like you to pay attention to like where the doorknob is too. What door have you ever gone into with a doorknob on that side of this? That's what kind of threw me off too. I'm like, the doorknobs are on the wrong side. Let's see. Courtney Davin, thank you for the 5. Says, side note, since most of them are prior military, if they are found guilty on federal level, they could lose their VA benefits also, which is big. Yes. Good point. Very fair point. Very, very good point. It's true.
Rear of this
And their
car. I know it's
pensions,
completely back,
everything.
but it's
gone.
the far corner of the car. Do you see a person's head there?
It appears as if someone's still there.
And that person is located at or near what portion of the car?
In real life or as it's depicted?
Is the person near in real life, near the right rear tail light of the car?
Yes.
Matter of fact, standing there, hovering around there, correct?
We don't know the distance that they are in proximity to the actual vehicle. We just know that they're behind the vehicle. That
Looks like it's pretty close, doesn't it, Sergeant?
Objection.
Sustained.
Does that look like he's in close proximity to the right rear tail light?
as I said, I can't tell how far away he is from the vehicle.
His head's right there, sir.
Haha, I love this.
You can't tell that he's right next to the right rear tail light?
Objection.
Sustained.
I want you to pay attention to what that person does as soon as the other person comes out from behind that car. So you see him move. Stop it. Did you see that person move?
It jumped.
I saw movement in the frame, yes.
Right when the other person is in eyesight of the person toward the right rear, correct?
I mean, the video speaks for itself.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I love that.
Objection, Your Honor.
The objection sustained. No commenting, Mr. Jackson. We've talked about that.
I'm going to ask Mr. Bates to back it up because there's one other issue I want you to pay attention to, if you can, right at this moment or right before this moment, and that is the timestamp. You back it up maybe.
And I have to say, the timestamp was really hard, even just to read in court, because it was so small on the screen. So I know he probably said, you know, fair to Bukkake, but he knows what Jackson's getting at here. But to be fair, I think everybody was having trouble seeing the timestamp. It was really small. At least on that screen, anyway.
Don't play yet. Instead of paying attention to the individuals, I'm going to ask you, can you see, may I approach the screen here?
Yes.
Can you see the timestamp at 5:37 and 37 seconds p.m.? Can you see that from where you're at?
No, I cannot.
Me neither. But I don't know. So, let's play it for about 10 seconds.
Wow. How'd that person jump
Pause it.
so quick over there?
Did you see another person just appear toward the rear end of the car?
There was a fog of some sorts. It did appear as if a person was actually in. There was two people back there, and two people walked away.
It was a fog. It was a fog. I like this one better. It was a fog.
Or one person walked away.
Timestamp jumped to 5:38:01. Correct?
I cannot see the timestamp, sir.
Fog and horror.
Did it appear that there was an anomaly? There was a portion of that video that was deleted. Just missing,
Fog.
not deleted, but just missing.
What kind of
Objection.
fog was it, everybody?
Can you
Fog
tell
and
that?
horror.
Does it appear that way to you, Sergeant?
No, Your Honor, I cannot tell what is happening with the video.
It was fog. Foggy. It was
If you take a close look at there's a classic police car in that Sally Port, correct?
There's an antique vehicle there. Yes.
If you take a close look at the trunk of that vehicle, see the word police.
Fog and horror.
Yes, I believe I can read that. Yes,
And it's backward, correct?
it is mirrored. Correct.
That's a good indication that this is an inverted video, right?
It appears
Damn.
that way. Yes.
And if we were to fast forward at 5:42,
Real quick, let me just get this in. Albert, thank you again for the $5. $5. Watch the cop after connecting caution tape, weaves and then leaves and then disappears on the right side instead of going through the door. Yeah, I mean, we've known that this missing video, but just Jackson's shredding it in court right now and getting this all on the record in front of the juries, in front of the jurors. I mean, they know what they did, and they're just. Listen, I don't know why this is continuing to go on. This needs to be stopped, but they're going to keep pushing this all the way. I want to add this too. We had a donation come in from Buy Me a Coffee, $5. Let's add that to the total as well. I think we're at 1,065. 25% of that will get kicked back to Karen Reed tonight, to her defense. All right, let's go.
About another 20 seconds. There you go. Who just played at this point? Well, you take one pause.
Kat, thank you for becoming a new member.
Pause it.
Add $5 to the total.
You see the Sally Port garage came down?
Yes.
You see a number on the garage?
Yeah, you see that 4 right there?
I do.
Is that correct?
What is correct?
Does the number appear correct? How do you make it 4?
No, the number's in the mirror image. Yes.
Mirrored.
I just wanted to make the point. Everything in this video is completely
Yeah, the
correct.
timestamp's fucked.
It's not backwards. It's mirrored, reversed. You can look yourself in the mirror in the morning. You still see your own face. It's not.
But that is not reality, sir. A mirror image is not reality, sir.
Backwards.
But my mirror image is not an accurate depiction
Right.
of who I am.
That's right.
My
Check.
actual physical appearance is who I am, correct?
Right.
Objection.
Sustained.
A mirror image, Sergeant,
It's the same thing here. When you're watching me on video, it's not actually, well, it's me, but it's not my actual physical appearance in front of you.
is not an
That's
accurate
a great
video
point here.
of this, is it?
Objection.
It's a mirror image by definition.
Right. Kat, thanks for gifting
Sustained.
5.
Ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
Rhonda, thank you.
$25 ad, please.
I would like to mark
Tsunami says the dolly is missing. Add another 2. Fog and mirrors. I like that one too.
I have a, we can bring the lights up.
Wait,
And I remember this time, the defense table, they were excited. They had Bukkake on the ropes, and there was a lot of movement at the table, and you can kind of see it now. Everybody's kind of looking around at that table. Very excited. Karen's almost smiling a little bit here.
I have a thumb drive that I'd like to have marked with the court's permission.
And this
does
is
Mr.
where
Lally know what's on this thumb drive without you telling us?
Josh on this.
I do not.
Okay.
We can approach and I
Look how defeated Lally is. He's so defeated, bro. Look at his body language. He just sucks. I'm surprised he still has any hair. I thought it would have all fallen out by now. Or at least he pulled it all out.
We're trying to wrap up our morning. It's marked for identification.
If I may, Your Honor, I'd like to play the first 10 seconds of that
Nope.
video.
No. We'll come to something. It's marked for identification, right, Mr. Jackson?
You can see me there. We're all like, what the hell? This went on for a while. Felt like forever in the court. Those sidebars feel like ever. Essentially here, they're going to argue a motion, and that's going to be, and we already found out, that's going to be challenged some experts of the defense. Again, this is all the Commonwealth playing these games because they know their case is literally crumbling like cake right now in front of their eyes. They have nothing else here, and they know that they got blasted today. They're going to get blasted on Monday. They're going to address this at 8:30 in the morning on Monday. I'll be curious to see if any of this gets through. It's going to be interesting, but we already know what this is about. All right, let's do a little bonus footage before I head out, since you're all being attentive, and I want to go to just the court TV segment with Plevin and Nick the other night, and they argue about the taillight. We'll play a little bit of this, and then we're going to wrap this up. Oh, by the way, so just let everybody know, to be clear about everything. So what I'm going to do is we have the total at the end. We'll get the grand total of all the super chats and all the donations that came in. We'll take 25% of that. We'll kick it back to Karen Reed. The way that I do it is I will donate the money on the defense website. It will say LTL chat raiser, and then the date. We'll get the total of the 25%. Then I'll post the receipts up on my Facebook page, LTL Media, and I post it on my YouTube community page. And then you can just go right to the defense website, the link there, and just you'll see it. Recent donations. It'll say LTL Media chat raiser, and then the total donation. Let's play a little bit of this. Yeah, I know. I love this microdoc.
Live coverage weekday mornings, only on Court TV.
There's an antique vehicle there. Yes.
If you take a close look at the trunk of that vehicle, word police.
No, you are, man. I listen. It takes all of us to do this, and what you do is amazing work. And someday I hope I can digitally get myself to that point. But your creative vision, the way that you go about things, it's the coolest fucking stuff I've ever seen in my entire life. And I wish I only had the patience to do what you do. And it's always been an honor when you pop up here in the chat and the conversations we have off chat, but it's always an honor. And you do great work. You really do. And you're a huge contributor to the Karen Reed movement. Huge contributor. All right, let's go here. Let's see. Don't forget your prediction for tomorrow. And what do you think Jackson threatened Bev to file something for the deceit of the flipped video? I don't think he's going to file anything. I think this is all going to come out in witness testimony. He's just going to basically burn them up and blow them up on the stand. And this will be all on the record in front of the jury. As far as my prediction tomorrow, we're going to start off with Bukkake again. I'm sure it will probably take Jackson till lunch, hopefully. And then we may see Trooper Proctor called by the Commonwealth. Will he plead the fifth? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you this. In my opinion, if Proctor gets up there and immediately pleads the fifth, it's not going to help the Commonwealth's case. In my opinion, it's not going to help them. It's going to make them look really bad. That's the lead investigator, and he's not going to say anything? Come on. Come on, people. You're smarter than that. All right, let's play through this.
Yes, I believe I can read that. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Thank
backward,
you.
correct?
Free
It is
my
mirrored,
girl.
correct.
That's a good indication that this is an inverted video, right?
Donnie, thank
It
you.
appears that way,
You're
yes.
the man. Keep it up. No, you're the man. Thank you. Thank you for the
Inverted video entered into evidence in a murder trial. So how do we know that this is inverted, that this is a mirror image of the video? Let's take a look and just walk through it so you are absolutely convinced how obvious it is.
Thank you so much. $50 super chat says because Bukkake sucks. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you know what? Vinny lost his fucking shit over this. I mean, as a prosecutor, a former prosecutor, he's like, you know, I told you all along that Vinny knows. And I've been saying that. It's been my theme on the show. And I always ask everybody, do you think Vinny knows? Vinny knows. Vinny knows what's going on. Believe me. He knows. I think he's locked in now. I think he's convinced. I think he's all free Karen Reed. I think he is. I know he can't say it on the show, but I'm telling you, Vinny knows. Vinny fucking knows. He knows what's going on here. He knows what's going on. All right, let's go.
You start here and you look on the garage wall behind Karen Reed's car. If you look there, you're looking at the number 4, and it's backwards. It is obviously backwards, but that's not the only thing that's backwards. As you just heard from the testimony, you look at the front of this police car, and police is written backwards. And I know sometimes on an ambulance it's written backwards so you can see it in your rear view mirror, but that's not the case here. This is backwards because this is inverted video. But what's really fascinating, you look at those blue letters down below, that's the time code, and we're bringing out that time code. That's not inverted. So that's what has me even more confused here. So if the time code was inverted, it would be like super obvious that it's inverted. But the time code is like normal, but the video itself is inverted.
I want to get to the segment when they bring Nick in. I mean, we kind of all know this. He's going to talk about it here, but I want to bring the segment in when they bring Nick and Plevin in. All right, let's play this.
Let's bring in our trial insiders. Joining us tonight, Karen Reed supporter, creator of the Justice for Officer John O'Keefe and Karen Reed Facebook page, Nick Rocco. Also joining us, there he is, criminal defense attorney Joseph Krowski Jr. and the YouTuber behind Yellow Cottage Tales, Kevin Lenahan, is with us. Kevin, let me start with you. I'm looking at it from afar. This is a problem. What on earth were you thinking when you saw this?
Oh, well, you know, it's the way security cameras work. By the way, this fool has been up on court TV for probably the last 7 weeks, okay? And I've dipped in and seen his lives. He literally gets less than 100 people watching him. And his subscriber count's not moving. And I'll tell you, what side do you think people stand on? Look at the lives, the Free Karen Reed supporter lives. They're standing with Karen Reed. No one cares about his channel.
Well, it seems to me it's a blunder without question. I don't think it was deceptive, because if they were meant to be deceptive, they would have somehow edited out the backwards police logo or the number 4. Surveillance cameras are built this way. They use mirrored video to enhance the field of vision and eliminate blind spots. It's just the way they're produced, and it's supposed.
I'm telling you, Microdots can probably clear all this bullshit up right now just by typing it in the chat. Mirrored, they use mirrors. No,
to be reversed back on play, and so obviously there was a blunder here. But the important thing to keep in mind: look at the timestamp. When that SUV is brought into the garage at 5:36. And while that video was shown there at 5:41, and no, Nick, it was wrong. It didn't arrive at 5:08. It arrived at 5:31. That's when the CERT team is beginning their search. They were there by 5, and they were beginning their search shoulder to shoulder at 5:41. So there was no time to steal pieces of taillight and race out to the crime scene and magically bury it 3 feet inside of the snow. And that's the important thing here.
Nick Rocco, your thoughts when you saw this?
So good job deflecting on this mirrored image video.
Microdots. I love it. I noticed that was the first thing I noticed. I loved it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So they took the extra step to change the timestamp on this video to make it look like that is the broken side of her taillight. There's a reason why they did that, because they needed some type of proof and evidence of that vehicle in the Sallyport garage showing, look, nobody went near her taillight, but we know there's another camera in that garage. Exactly right above that little vehicle you see there, not the old police car, but the little golf cart there. There's a camera there that is missing footage from 5:08 to 5:50, which was pointed exactly on her taillight, which would show every single one of those police officers behind her taillight, most likely altering that taillight, just like they altered this video. So now you have Yuri Buchanan on the stand saying that this is an accurate video to what happened that day in the Sallyport garage. That is a bold-faced lie. He knew that this was altered. Adam Lambert.
You ever notice that as well, too? All those people are standing, they're all rocking back and forth near that taillight. Near that, the taillight in question, they're all rocking back and forth. You can see them. They're doing something over there. And it ain't collecting evidence.
He knew this was
collecting evidence that they want, smashing that taillight.
Altered, and so didn't the
Masa, I'm just gonna say Ma. 79.99 Aussie. All the clean and honest cops out there are outraged at what these corrupt cops are doing. The whole world is watching you. This trial is a farce. Justice for Officer John O'Keefe and Free Karen Reed. Australia is horrified. Retired law enforcement here shaking my head. Well, thank you so much for your service. I'm sure you are outraged as much as we are outraged. And corruption like this needs to come forward in front of everyone's eyes so it can be stopped. This can never happen again. This has got to change the system. And I truly believe, my friends, this case will change the system. Thank you so much for your super chat.
DA Michael Morrissey, and they still submitted this evidence, fraudulent evidence, into a high-profile murder case that the jury was trying to be deceived by this. The public was being deceived by this. This is poor police work. And I know you say there's no time, and we'll get into the time cuts later, because there's multiple times in this video where all the time is cut
we'll
out.
get into that. I want to get into this reverse part. Joseph, let me ask you. This is a case where the prosecution knows that they are being accused of being part of a conspiracy. Right?
Thank you.
A conspiracy to cover up and to frame. And right in front of the jury, this prosecutor and this investigator put this video in and make no mention to this jury that this is a mirror image. I don't understand why on earth you would ever do that, but they did. They did.
Well, they did. I think a couple of things. First, we have to be really careful about the terms we use, right?
Okay.
Deceptive and misleading suggests an intentional act, putting forward false information intentionally. We know from your show, from social media, that literally the whole world is watching. I do not believe for a second Adam Lally would intentionally put in evidence with the intent to mislead or defraud the jury. If you notice, Adam Lally is the only prosecutor prosecuting this case. So his day's not ending at 4 or 4:30. He's literally dealing with 170 plus witnesses, complex forensic type of evidence. So like a lot of things, I'm sure they'll debunk this. You know, they're probably now going to have to go on the defensive and bring in the IT person, either from the district
But
attorney's office
let me ask
or
you,
from the Canton
Joseph.
Police
In
Department.
my opinion, and what I want it, you know what I think happened here? The Commonwealth knows they absolutely had no case against Karen Reed. But what they wanted to do is overload the jury with so many witnesses so they would get beat down and they would get tired. And they would just submit at some point and say, she's guilty. That's what I think. But on the other hand, when I go in there and look, I think the jury's had enough. They're ready to clearly tap out. Just from what we even heard on Thursday. Someone must have said in that jury room, when are we going to be able to deliberate this case? I think they've seen enough. They don't need to see any more. They're not going to convict Karen Reed. There's no way. There is so much reasonable doubt in this case and just the poor handling of evidence, all the shenanigans that we're seeing with videos, all the shenanigans we're seeing with evidence. And the sad thing about it is all of the evidence that could have been preserved to go after the real killers has now all been destroyed because it's been manipulated. So we never really will know what went on inside that house. We'll have an idea of what went on in 34 Fairview, but we'll never have the real idea of what went on in there.
Let me ask you, how much credibility do they lose by in front of the jury putting in a video? The investigator didn't say anything either. It's not just Lally, but it's the investigator saying, the investigator's been in that Sallyport, hasn't he?
Sure. I think, quite frankly, he just missed it. Look, if they're going to tamper with that taillight, why are they going to do it inside of a Sallyport where every single one of them knows has cameras, and that would require the extra step of deleting video or trying to invert surveillance video? That parking lot at that police station, I've been there, is a nice, big, dark parking lot. They didn't need to tamper with that taillight. They have John O'Keefe dead, basically dead at the scene. They already have damage to her taillight, and they already have officers at the scene earlier in the morning with the snow blowers finding debris. So there would be no need to do it for the crazy sake of argument, because I know we got this cabal of townsfolk and police and this conspiracy. For the crazy sake of argument,
but Joseph,
they wouldn't do it in the Sallyport.
Right, they wouldn't. But now we're in a trial. The jury only knows what they see and hear. Right. And they just saw the prosecutor and this investigator put a video in front of them. And it was
said this earlier. I don't know how much you caught of the show, but I said it earlier. They went after Karen Reed because they thought she was weak. And they wanted to cover this up to keep their ivory tower so no one could knock it down. But Karen Reed was a lot stronger and smarter than all of these people. She wasn't going to take a plea. She fought back, and she clearly is, because she's factually innocent. $5. The McAlberts are celebrating not only because they think they are winning, they're celebrating that they got away with it. But they ain't going to get away with it. Believe me, it's all in the record.
It's up to the defense to point out that it was wrong. I mean, that's a bad look, whether it's on purpose or whether it's accidental. It's all of a sudden, it gives a little more credence and credibility that, wait a minute, is everything exactly what they're saying it is? It's about credibility here. Let me play a video and you're going to talk again.
So I agree with you on that point. Okay. But there's a difference between deceptive and misleading.
He froze. Okay. All right. We'll get him. Don't worry. Let's take a look now. The video shown in court, and you can see you got Trooper Proctor on the left and the witness who was testifying, Buchanan, on the right, and you watch where they're going. This is important because now Proctor is by the tail light by himself at this moment. But if you're looking at the video this way, he's not near the tail light in question. But when you flip it around the correct way, now all of a sudden, the trooper whose credibility is being questioned by the defense is now by himself by the taillight. Now, he may not be doing anything, but the bottom line to this, Kevin, is that if If the defense doesn't say anything, the jury does not know where Trooper Proctor was. This is mind-boggling, knowing what the defense is alleging here.
Well, I don't think it's surprising that the trooper is looking at the broken taillight of a murder weapon. That seems like exactly
right, but
what
nobody would know that. The point is that nobody would know that based upon the way the video was put into evidence. Like, if they just put it in like this or had said it's a mirror image, this is a non-issue.
Right.
Well, like I described it, it's a blunder, I think, and I think there may be some other blunders, and that can cause problems. But you have to look at the mountain of evidence, and you have to apply logic. Like I said, this is all going on while the CERT team is finding the pieces already at the crime scene. So there was no.
I love it when we see evidence that supports Karen Reed. I love Plevin, because when we see evidence that it supports Karen Reed's innocence, or when Jackson and Yannetti and Little get up there and trash all of these witnesses and cut them all down, right? That's, in Plevin's mind, that's conspiracy. But when the Commonwealth fucks up, it's just a blunder. It's just a blunder.
Time to take those pieces from the taillight there and bring it out to the scene. So it's just a logical.
Gotcha. No, I get that. That's a great point. Way to put the pieces together. Doing it better than the prosecution, Kevin. You are. Joseph, let me finish. You froze there, so I want you to finish your thought.
That must be a blunder right there.
Oh, I was just saying, look, these are sophisticated police officers. I certainly think this was a blunder. There'd be no incentive
Everything is a blunder
if you were going to tamper with evidence to do it in that location. You got to keep in mind, too, we're seeing snippets of video. We've already seen a lot of video. But in a homicide investigation, typically there are hundreds and hundreds of hours of video that you do your best to go through. So clearly he missed it. And you're not going to hear me say that this is a good development for the prosecution. But I don't think it's the bombshell that it's being hyperbolized into.
Okay, fair enough. Everyone's staying with us. When we come back, was this video actually edited? Was it chopped up? Are there jump cuts? That's next.
All right, everybody. I'm going to pop out of that. It is getting late. I've been a 3-hour live. As much as I'd love to keep going, I do have to work tomorrow. So let's just read this last $100 super chat. Nikki, thank you so much for your very generous super chat. Says, I hope y'all find Bukkake great value version of Magic Mike Dance. I'll leave that up to you as to where it's found. Thanks for being true blue and donating to Karen Reed. It sets you apart, and that's why I'm donating here. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Let's go to a total so far before we end the stream so far right now. We're at $1,362. That's $340 for Karen. I don't like rounded numbers, so let's do this. We'll make it $350. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to donate that immediately off the stream. When you go to Karen's defense link, you'll see LTL chat raiser, and then it will be today's date, which is 6/9/24, and we'll put $350 in there for Karen tonight. I'll post the receipt up on my LTL Media Facebook page and also on my YouTube community page. I want to thank everybody tonight for making this such a fantastic live. I think this is probably one of the biggest live audiences I've had. I don't know, maybe I've had a little bit more, but one awesome thing tonight is that we passed 25,000 subscribers on the channel, and I would have never thought 3 years ago that I would be at this point. The Free Karen Reed supporters have been very generous to me, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all coming here and checking out my channel. I do things different here, and that's what's awesome about all the creators that cover the Free Karen Reed the Karen Reed trial on their platforms. We do it in our own different ways, in our own in our own take. So I do appreciate all of the support here. I love all of you, and thank you for getting me over 25,000. I want that silver play button. It's going to take me 100,000 to get there, but I am guaranteed and determined to do it. I will not quit YouTube until I get that silver play button. It is a fucking challenge, and I want it. We got a long way to go, and I hope after the Karen Reed trial concludes that you'll all still come here and follow my content because we have many, many cases to cover and a lot of trials. But we're going to keep following this all the way out. I think we had a couple more chats come in. New member, thank you, Jody. $5. We'll add that. And then Toothy, thank you so much. Also know YouTube takes 30% cut, so you're giving away more than 25%. Yep, and I have to pay taxes too. That's perfectly fine. I don't mind. It's why we do this. It's not about the money. At the bottom line, it's about this. Freeing Karen Read. And that's all that matters here. That's all that matters in the end of it, that we free Karen Read. All right, with that being said, we're hitting about the 3-hour mark right now. I appreciate every single person that came to this live tonight and helped watch the show. It was very enjoyable to watch all this and go through it with you. And I hope you found value and you'll come back when I do my next live. I do have a live set up on Thursday with Jess Machado. So please come over and check that out. And I'll have some follow-ups here and some recaps throughout the week. Tomorrow's a big day. Stand proud and strong for Karen, and hopefully Jackson gets them. Thank you all so much. Make sure to, we're going to get $350 over for Karen. Thank you. And I will make that donation immediately. I got the stream. I got to go. It is late. It's midnight here on the East Coast. I have work in the morning, but I will be back soon. I appreciate y'all. Will not be living tomorrow. Most likely will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and definitely Thursday. And we'll have some weekend streams lined up. And I always love this Sunday spot. So thank you all so much. I appreciate y'all. Let's do this. I'm going to open up the chat. Let's throw up tons of pink hearts in support of Karen on the way out as the outro plays out. Let me just open that up for everybody. And then we're going to get out of here because I am tired. It's been a long stream. I appreciate y'all's support. I love all of you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment after this post. Thank you so much for everything that you did for this channel tonight. I appreciate you all. We're going to get to 100,000. I promise you. It's going to be a while, but we're going to get there. All right, let me hit the outro. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Take the change and set the trap.